Meow, 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 meow. What's happening, everybody, and welcome back to the True Gamer Podcast, a podcast hosted by two gamers for you, the true gamers. I'm one of your hosts, Eddie, along with my bro, the inverted gamer himself, Sheps. How's it going, bro?
I'm going great, actually, because that's 3 for 3 today. You've nailed the intro. 2 were just complete audio tests.
Yeah, they were just tests we did before, and I managed to nail them. Was like, watch when the real thing happens.
Right.
Nothing.
Totally thought you were going to mess it like badly, but no, you just nailed it. I'm doing good. How are you doing?
I am doing terribly.
You did die recently.
Yeah, I was going to say, people may have seen on Twitter, and you know that I've been suffering quite bad recently. Yeah. Fucking like headaches, my body was hurting. I had this weird thing where my shoulder was hurting on my left side, and then the next day my right shoulder was hurting.
Right.
Don't know how that switched sides.
That's weird.
And then I started having these intense like headaches, and my body was exhausted.
Yeah.
Basically, what I think it was is that we've been working quite hard recently.
Mainly you.
Okay, me as well. Yeah, man. But then I had a bad night, and I think it just pushed me over the edge into exhaustion. I was like,
yeah.
But I do want to say thank you to everyone who, after I put those messages, I was like, I can't do the stream tonight. I'm dying.
Yeah.
People were all like, shut the fuck up. Ed, shut the hell up. We love you. We care about everything you guys are doing. Just have your damn rest, and we'll be here when you're fucking done.
I mean,
right?
that wasn't my approach. My approach was to quote tweet you and say that you didn't love people enough to work yourself to death. But
that's true. I don't love you enough to. Oh my god!
I got a number.
I can't even say it.
I got a number of messages, not even public messages, like a couple of DMs, a few in like our mod room and stuff, saying like, "Oh, Sheps, that means you should pick up the slack." And I'm like, "Hold on a minute, motherfucker." how fucking dare you? But the reality is, I would have, except that we currently have a tech issue.
Yep.
Believe it or not, we think we figured out the fix to it.
Yes,
like to reroute past the mainframe into the main deflector shield.
And then there's all the hacking that we have to do in the software.
Hack the gigaframe for the 2 megajoules per second update.
Exactly.
I have no idea what those words mean, but that requires we need to test it. And like, I'm about to work 36 hours across this weekend, so we won't have the time. And we're recording today, so I would like to. Also,
let me just summarize what Sheps is saying here.
I also don't love you enough.
He doesn't love you enough. That's what it is right there.
I do want to get it. I do want to get it sorted soon, because if we're going to try the streaming, it looks like we maybe will stream a bit on Twitch, or I will stream a bit on Twitch to see, because some people did like that idea. They spend a lot more time on Twitch than YouTube and just come to support us. The only thing is, you have my Mac's big brother, and it struggled streaming when the weather got warm.
There was a reason why we had to buy the streaming PC, because the big boy couldn't handle it. And you've got the little brother.
I've got the little brother, because the size was more. Because at the time I was like, I don't want the 15. It's just a bit too big. This fits perfectly in my backpack and all that stuff. It's perfect. And I wasn't doing YouTube at the time when I got it. So like about 6 months before we started up YouTube again is when I got this. I was like, I'm not doing YouTube. It would, even if I wanted to, if I get the urge, it will render out a video fine. Wasn't expecting to potentially be doing like 5-hour live streams. So it will probably last right now. Yeah. But by the time we get to summer, if it's going good enough, we'll probably get another rig or something. If it's going good enough.
Yeah, we'll work something out.
I really doubt, in like the grand scheme of things, that the Twitch is going to kick off enough for us to be like, yeah, we'll get another streaming rig.
You heard it here, guys. If you guys don't make it happen, it doesn't happen. Okay?
It's true.
So if you guys have to go over there, and you literally have to make 15,000 Twitch accounts.
It's true.
And you all have to sign up, and all of your computers need to be watching on your mum's phone, your sister's phone. Diogo, you can use your sister's phone.
Yeah, that's right.
You can use.
I swear it's just his phone that his sister's taken, isn't it?
You know what? His sister seems to use all of his stuff. He got
a new hoodie of ours.
He got the official True Gamer hoodie for being a super pro for the month of. He got a Tech Issues Incarnate pony back. In the month of January and February, you can get one of these if you're a super bro. Go check out Patreon, link in the description. And he got it. It's like, cool. And then as soon as he got it, his sister chucks it on. And it's like, My sister tells me it's great.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay.
This is a good topic, though, to be talking about Twitch and supporting us, because as talking about you giving us money, this show, well, our entire channel, all of our content, even on the FPN,
yes,
is funded directly by our Super Bros over on patreon.com/Conbrosations. Who do we have to thank?
We have Diogo Dildo, Isak the Ultimate Cumsock, Carol Tavrivia, aka Casper the Friendly Patron, Record Friction, Dan the Man, Jeremy Renner, that's right, an official Avenger, Martin Scorsese's Master H Bars 12, the Midget Alo from Smallville Sabine, the former freeloader Christian, Master Chief himself Albiscori, Super Sus Ben Fryer, the Star Wars Encyclopedia Adam Sunling, the Gamer of Gaming Shire Dave Bindis, and the Assassino Ezio Al Felipe. Thank you guys so much for keeping the lights and mics on and the gaming going here at Conbrosations. That's right, guys.
That's right. That's right. Two things.
Yes.
We are trying. So we have the new mics.
Yeah.
We've only had maybe 3 or 4 attempts with both of us having the brand new mics and the new sound setup.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, no joke, you guys made that possible. We had an incredible Conbrosations Day stream. We funded everything, basically. We got the stuff first and hoped you would fund it.
Yeah, we were like,
yeah. But it's important to us. Even if they didn't, it was important to us.
Yeah.
But we're still learning the new mics. And they're now at a different angle because we think we've managed to stop the P-pops. But I did notice as you did that, the one time where it was super important that you didn't mess stuff up. Like, you could have messed up the intro, it would have been fine. Messing up the Patreon names, you get right up close to it and...
I've also found
Sorry
as well if I put my lips on the thing, it doesn't happen. So if I go like this, guys, and you guys hear me, you probably hear that I sound really quite nice and sexual right now. I mean, if you want me, I can talk like this in your ear. We can start a whole ASMR channel if you like.
That's it, we're asthmas now.
We're asthmas. Isak, put your headphones down. You can't hear this right now, but anyone else? Anyone else is fine.
And Chris, excuse me, I feel like I may have undersold him. They're not $3 headphones. They're $6 Panasonics, but he only uses one side while at work, so they are $3. Frick you!
It's actually half the value right there. So that's going to sound really good in your headphones there, Chris.
Wait, we do set this to dual mono, don't we?
Yeah, we do.
Okay, I was going to say, if he's only using one side, he's only getting one side.
For some reason, I don't ever hear Sheps. Oh man, this is actually quite good. How you been doing, bro? What have you been up to? I obviously spoke about how I was dying and stuff, but what have you been up to?
I haven't been doing a huge amount of gaming. Just this last week, haven't really had time. I had to catch up with all of WandaVision, which if you didn't know, which you probably should have seen the announcements, we're doing it. We've got a new, believe it or not, a new podcast.
Strange, we don't do many of those.
No, not a lot. Called Streamcast, and it goes up exclusively on the 4 Pillars Network, the FPN.
Yes.
Some would say, I think you should make sure you say in the comments that we're the flagship show. I would, with the flagship product for sure.
Yes.
And so we're doing WandaVision for the first set of that. That went incredibly well.
It really did. We're at like 1.4K after just over a day.
That's views. Like, the channel's up to past 2K subs now as well. Yeah. So
cool. Also
giving us, like, it's that little pat on the back. We've always said we kind of know that, like, the product, what we make, our content is good enough. If we woke up tomorrow and had 1 million subscribers, the product that we make wouldn't be out of place.
Yeah.
It's high enough quality.
We believe in ourselves.
Yeah.
As much self-deprecating as we do, we do think we do make a good product.
Like, that's one of the reasons that I don't feel too bad being full suit asking, give me your money! Because, like, you know, we back it up with the product.
Yeah.
And this is one of those things where we put it on another place where it could get the views, and it did. Yeah. You know, and whenever also we get we get Tyler and James on our podcast, they send guys over, so we get the extra views. Whenever we're on the Clubhouse, they get extra views.
They get a lot of extra views, to be fair. It's a little bit of an imbalance. We give them more than they give us, but
I think that's kind of a thing, especially with us rain. God, Ben, don't start. I was like, what is that sound? But the little pat on the back of, like, if there were more eyeballs on the show, it would get more views and be just as well received. In fact, I think it's actually better received. Our like ratio on there is nuts. It's like 20% likes.
I think we have 2 dislikes and we've got like 160 likes on there.
It's over that. I thought it was like, it's almost at 200 likes and it's less than 2,000 views. It's over 20%.
I think we can say this is scientific evidence, empirical evidence right here. We are better than the 4 Pillars.
Yeah, of course.
I'm going to drop this mic 1 second. I think it's pretty good. But guys, you should head over there. There'll be a link in the description. All the stuff that's coming out there is going to be fantastic. You guys should go check it out. But if you are our supporters, go over there, drop a like on our video, go watch the stuff. The first episode's a bit longer. The next episodes will be a bit shorter because they're based on each individual episode. But we're putting a lot of effort into it. Hopefully it gets our name out there. Hopefully we make a great, fun product as well. And it's also available on podcast services. Go check that out.
I just realised we can't do the tech thing on Monday because I'll need to watch One Division and I need to come in and record on a different day.
Tech what, Monday?
You know, for the tech demo for the potential streams.
Oh, yeah.
Because I got to come. You know, we're saying we're putting in extra effort.
We'll work it out. We'll
figure it out.
Turns out we've got a full schedule.
Yeah, we do.
But you've been watching One Division, you said. Not
really
doing much
enjoying
gaming.
it. Yeah, not really doing a lot of gaming. My chick's playing Fall Guys a little bit. She's awful, but enjoying it.
I bet that's just hilarious.
It is fun.
That's the best part. That's why that game to stream, I find, is just the best because it's just laughing at people. It's just great fun. It's infectious.
That would be a fun one to do.
Yeah.
So watching One Division, really enjoying it. Looking forward to hopefully getting more time to game with like Ratchet and Clank in March. Something else is coming out in March. What else is that?
The Schneider Cut.
Oh yeah,
and Falcon and Winter Soldier's coming out.
Not gonna have any time for anything, are we?
Yeah, we've got no time left.
No.
I'm just gonna say goodbye to Isla. Just give me a second.
Yeah, I love you a lot, but I prefer this.
Sorry.
Yeah, you just know your place. It's second. If you're a boy,
things are good. But they can be better.
God, that movie was so bad.
It was so bad, but that meme was so good.
It really was.
Probably Pedro Pascal that made it good. That's what it is.
Oh, and finally to wrap up, I've been enjoying the GameStop memes, which I feel like crosses over two of my interests.
Yeah.
So I've been enjoying that a lot.
That's something actually we're going to be talking about today, and we actually have our very own experts in stocks and shares.
Not really, but
and Dogecoins.
I have a few Dogecoin now.
There we go. So we're going to talk a little bit about that later. In terms of gaming, because I was going to ask. I was saying I played some games specifically so I could talk about it here today.
I know which one you were most excited about.
Yes.
Feel free.
So, 3 games that I played.
Yeah.
I played Control, the Ultimate Edition.
You actually really liked Control, didn't you?
I did. It was super, eerie and psychological and spooky and, horror. Do you know what Control is? You haven't played Control, have you? Imagine Men in Black.
Yes.
Because there's a bureau. It's called the Federal Bureau of Control.
Okay.
It's like the FBI, essentially. But
okay.
And you walk in, except it's not cool and all these people know exactly what they're doing. It's think of the FBI, but then there's these otherworldly phenomenon that happen and they don't know how to control them. So for example, in one of these things there's a fridge.
Yes.
If anyone looks away from the fridge, it does stuff and it kills people. So all the time, someone has to be looking at the fridge, not looking through a camera. Someone has to be or looking through glass. Someone has to be sitting in the room with the fridge and looking at it, and they can't blink.
So what do they do? What, the one eye blink?
I guess because one of these.
Wait, so you're telling me if you blink in the time, and not like a long blink, but if you just blink in that time, the fridge is gonna. Does it kill you or someone?
Kill you.
I'm actually suddenly really interested.
And this is what I mean. There's they've got these paranormal stuff that's going on.
Imagine pitching that to Agent. Look, Agent Johnson, I know you're new, but you've been put on this really important case. You have to sit here and look at this fridge. By the way, don't blink because if no one's looking at it, the fridge will disappear and kill someone. But don't blink because you're the nearest someone. Good luck.
Good luck. And what happens is because
do you get to see it kill someone, or does it
almost? So what happens is you
does it murder you, or does it chomp you, or
no? What it is so there's this guy, he's staring at it, and you see from behind the glass, you see a guy staring at a fridge.
What happens if you sneeze?
Exactly. So he's staring at the fridge, and you're like, "What the hell is that going on there?" And he hears your footsteps behind. He's like, "Hello, somebody, help! I can't look away from this fridge. You need to help me." And he's like, "Okay, don't worry, I'm coming in." And just as you go through the door to go around, he must blink in that moment,
or look to you, yeah.
And then he just gets yummed, and you go in there, and all you see is a fridge, and you're like, "Oh Jesus, oh God!" And the thing is that everyone in this facility has been killed, but he has to stay there to stare at this fridge. And he can't escape because the moment he looks away, he'll die.
Hold on a minute. Why doesn't he look at the fridge, get up, back towards the door, open the door, and then go.
I don't know. Well, it might be a situation that like,
and then it turns around as a werewolf and it munches him.
It could be something like that, but I don't know exactly. It's fucking her, and stuff like that happens.
That's kind of Aperture, like, you know, when you wake up as, is it Chell, I think is the name?
I'm not sure what her name is.
From Portal, you know, and like you're presumably the only survivor. You have to sort of get through these tests so you don't get killed, but the test might kill you.
That's the feeling you get.
Yeah, okay.
But it's very much like this is a government erected sort of company. Erected. We're such children. A government facility that is taking care of like paranormal stuff.
Yeah, like Men in Black, but
but they don't understand it.
Right, so basically it's Men in Black, but if it was a real government agency, just the worst at everything.
Yes,
like
exactly.
You should have just hired some entrepreneurs to do this because they would have done it more efficiently, more effectively. Exactly. But instead, you're the local council and cannot, while there's a lockdown, everybody's in their homes, fix the roads.
Yes.
But you still take council tax. Got it. Okay, cool. With you.
And these people that work there, they just seem like normal secretaries and like file analysts and stuff like that, with one or two scientists thrown in between. Okay. And I'm just like, anyway, it's really interesting and it is really like,
I thought you were psychological. Psychic, though, aren't you?
You are, yeah. Okay. That's the main character. And she does really cool stuff. She's got some abilities,
kind of Jean Grey-ish.
Yeah, really cool stuff. But the Ultimate Edition, what's awesome about this is that the people who made it, Remedy, they were going to charge people for this PS5 and Xbox Series X version, which had ray tracing and stuff like that. And people got pissed off because they were like, we bought the game in the first place and it didn't run very well because we knew, because it was not optimized well for the old computer, old PlayStations and stuff like that. Right. And everyone was annoyed, but it's free with PS Plus now. So I was like, oh, sweet, download it. And it's got ray tracing. It's
part of the PS Plus collection.
Exactly. Yeah. It looks gorgeous. The reflections
free for the Xbox
nice.
Guys with Game Pass.
No, they actually get the standard edition. But it looks gorgeous. The ray tracing is actually genuinely beautiful. It isn't a 60 FPS with ray tracing. It's 30 FPS. And if you want 60 FPS, you can do. I know you're a big 60 FPS guy.
The thing is, there are definitely some, like, the worst one for me is Ghost of Tsushima.
Yeah.
Because I want to put that in its highest fidelity. But I need to play it in 60 FPS. And it's so good looking even without it. Like, so I'm torn because it could look even better. And it looks really good. But it could look better.
This could be better.
But it can play better too. You know, it can be 60 FPS and god damn, is that slick.
This is the thing. I see both of them with a plus. Like I can, when I play 60 FPS, I'm like, oh, this is so silky smooth. But when I look at something that looks gorgeous, I'm like, God, that looks gorgeous. I love this too. Yeah. Whereas you're very much like, okay, the silky smooth is way better in my opinion.
That being said, I feel like there are some games that you can get away with, like bizarrely, and I might change my mind. Like if this was an option, I feel like if you could play Halo, you would want it in ray tracing, high fidelity, not 60 FPS. Not that it would be bad in 60 FPS, but because real Halo has no sprint or anything like that.
Right. It's not as fast.
Right. It's not like COD. COD you want in 60, and we're not talking competitive. Yeah. Like if you're playing PvP really competitive, you need its frame rates all day long.
Yeah.
But it's like playing the campaign, which the Halo 1 through 3 campaign are incredible. I feel like you could get away with that because you don't need ridiculous speeds. Yeah. Because you're the Master Chief. You're a walking tank, basically. Yeah. That would be an interesting one. Or Mass Effect. Oh God, what am I going to do? What are we going to do with the Legacy Edition?
We'll talk a little bit about that in a second. Yes, I played Control. I also played the other game that was available on PS Plus this month, Destruction Allstars. Actually damn fun.
Yeah. That's the car game, right?
Yeah, so it's like cars. It's like a derby sort of thing where you're just smashing into each other. You're trying to wreck people, and then you can also jump out of your car. You can steal other people's cars.
Okay. So is it kind of like Fortnite meets Rocket League?
So this is the thing. It's Fortnite meets Rocket League only in the sense that, it's a bit more, how do I say, cartoonish?
That's like, fine, yeah.
But the thing is that that's the analogy I was trying to copy. I was like, oh, they've tried to Fortnite something. Right. I mean, they've tried to copy that so they can get more, jump on the bandwagon.
It does feel like it's the microtransaction model.
But this game was originally meant to come out at $70.
Okay.
And I was like, they're never going to sell this at $70. Right. They won't make any sales.
Yeah.
And that's probably why it's free on PS Plus, because they saw the pre-orders are like, $5. Okay, we're not going to do anything, right? But having played it,
Yeah.
they're probably going to do stuff like skins and things like that.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Especially now they've gone free. But the Fortnite analogy, I feel like, is unfair because they've made something quite unique here and actually quite cool.
Is it still on the PS Plus collection?
Yeah, it only was just on there yesterday or something like that. So it's going to be for the whole of the month now.
I always add these things to my library.
We should. Everyone should.
Always just go there, add everything to your library because you don't even have to download it. It's just added there.
Yeah.
And the fact that you did it when you did it means that you now just get it for free always.
Yeah. Do you know what they've done as well with the PS5? They've made it easier.
Yes, they have.
On PS4, it was like, add to cart, buy, make sure it says 0.
Yeah.
And then purchase, thank you for your purchase. Whereas on this, it's just like, add to library.
Add to library, click. There are some things that the new UI does so well.
Yeah.
That's one of them. Some things not so much. Trophies, that's definitely the one I noticed. Yeah, okay. If there is a level of virgin, yours is much higher than mine.
I don't know what you mean.
In fairness, I was just thinking about my time played on World of Warcraft.
Yeah.
Maybe not.
Let's not go into that, okay?
Glass house, maybe don't throw the stone. So some of those things are much better. Things like party chat and things like that are atrocious now. But what was the other game you played?
The other game that I played.
For the first time ever.
For the
brand
first
new experience.
Oh, everyone should go check out Destruction Derby, by the way. It's cool. It's brand new. You guys should play it, especially because it's free.
Before you do that, maybe there's like, COD and Fortnite and all that stuff. They have creator codes.
I don't
so
think
like when you buy skins. Yeah, they definitely do. They definitely do. Yeah. That's how these dudes, Twitch streamers, make their money.
I guess have a look in the description if we find anything after this podcast.
If we find how to make a creator code, you do that.
For PlayStation, I didn't know they did
we can do that for... just out of curiosity, maybe we should just apply to see if we can get like the one for Fortnite and COD and all that stuff.
We'll see. But go
Give
play
me
that.
your money!
It's typical suit. Play that game. It's really cool. Don't sleep on it now that it's free. But the other game that I've tried out, the other game that I played, God of War 2018 got its PlayStation 5 official update.
Yeah.
To put it in that buttery smooth 60 FPS.
Yeah.
To give it that checkerboard rendering to put it up to like 4K. And God, does it look good. Does it? And the thing is that while it did look beautiful, and while I was playing it in 60 FPS, I was like, this is so smooth, this is great. I was just enraptured by the beginning again. And I posted a couple of screenshots on Twitter.
The gold hand on the tree.
Yeah. I was
especially now you know what it means.
Yes. And I was like, all of these scenes, and I put all these like 4 pictures, all of these scenes have no dialogue.
Yeah.
But the music, the acting, the direction, the camera work and whatnot.
The silence, by the way. It's all in silence until Atreus.
It all speaks so many words.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is why this is my favorite game ever. And honestly, I think I might be in again just to play the whole bloody game.
How does the DS5 feel with the Leviathan X?
Unfortunately, that's one thing they haven't added.
I'm out.
There's no adaptive triggers on it. There's no extra special rumbles. It's just the normal rumble that they've thrown in from the DS4.
Until that's in, I'm not playing it again.
And I'm upset. Me and I think it was Jack Nicholas. We were speaking on Twitter.
Right.
And it was pretty much what we said, where we joked about like, I want this controller to like, when you call the Leviathan X back, I want it to fly out of your hands, and like people to report, they were like, my DS4 broke because it flew out of my hands, and people are like, PlayStation, you've done it again. That's what we want right there. And he also said, imagine what's going to happen when you activate rage mode. It just literally snaps in half.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, there's no DualSense support.
As much as, because I always argue that these other games are as high as God of War 4.
Yeah.
But the ultimate truth is, God of War 4's up there. Like, and when I say up there, I mean it's in my number one slot. Yeah. It just happens that my number one slot is taken up by a couple other games. Like, it's like bar charts. Everything's at the same level.
Yeah.
It's not taking up. There's not a one winner, right? I don't want to play it again unless it has the triggers and everything.
I feel you.
Because it's so good that I don't want to play it and go, I wish they'd done this. Right? I want to play it exactly what it could be. And I did that on the PS4. It was everything it could have been on the PS4. And now with an update that doesn't include the DS5, all the haptic and dual, all the triggers and everything. It's not everything it could be.
Yeah.
So I'm going to leave it, and hopefully they'll come back to. I think Santa Monica might do that. I hope they would.
I suspect
It's probably a lot of work, actually.
it may be a lot of work, but I suspect they're actually keeping it because they've gone to all the trouble to do this.
I bet
to do everything.
I bet that's easier.
Surely, right?
I bet it's easier to get it into 4K 60 FPS
Oh,
than
I
it is
bet.
to get the DS5 integration.
But
I
I
bet.
think the reason why they haven't put it in there is because when God of War Ragnarok comes out,
Oh my god!
and you feel it for the first time, it's gonna blow not only your skirt up, but it will pull your nuts up as well, and it'll be like, "Oh Jesus!"
Yeah.
That's gonna get clipped.
That's that had better get clipped. But you know what? You could be a genius. They could do that, and then a few months later, say like 2 weeks, a month in, say, okay, everybody's talking about how great it is. The Leviathan thing, we're adding that as in a patch for God of War 4.
Because you think it would be the same sort of, roughly the same sort of like program,
and it's
right?
definitely a mistake if they don't do that for God of War 5.
Nah,
There's no way that'll come out with the same stuff that God of War 4 had, and there's no way.
Nah.
So, yeah, do you know what? I think you're right. So I probably will end up playing God of War.
Ragnarok.
Yeah, Ragnarok, then 4 again.
Yeah.
Right, once it gets that update.
See, I'm just a Sony Santa Monica shill, much like I am a CDPR shill.
Yes.
And much like I am what else am I a shill of? A
You should
relentless
promote
shill.
I wish you would just show more of our the conversations.
I'm not a shill of
Discord
Conbrosations.
stuff.
Those guys are just they're not worth anything, to be honest. But yeah, I wanted to play this game again. I was looking for an excuse.
Yeah, of course you were.
So the 60 FPS is good enough for me, but I do understand when you're saying like it's not the massive thing where it's going, oh, they've got 3D audio in there, they've got DualSense support in there, then you can be like, all right, I've got to go back now. I've got to go back.
That's because, like I said, God of War 4 was perfect.
Yes.
And updating it in a way where it's just a little bit better than the previous thing,
Yeah.
to me, that isn't more perfect. Unless it has 3D audio, all the haptic sensory stuff that we have now with the DS5, 60 FPS and 4K and all that. Unless it does that, I'm just not going to touch it because I had the perfect experience with God of War 4, right? So I'm not going to do it. But I really want to play it again.
Don't worry, you can play Red Dead Redemption 2.
Yeah, I'm totally going to do that.
Definitely. You're not just going to let that sit on your PS5 forever.
And good segue. Talking of things that don't matter, this is the True Gamer podcast.
Oh god, that's a good one.
And it's brought to you by the cyberbullies over on patreon.com/conversations who made this podcast in particular happen. They bullied us and said, if you don't do this, we're gonna come at you with even more money to make you do it. We were like, $1, it's not enough.
No.
$2, not enough. And they were like, you're gonna take this money. Here, dance, monkey, dance. Right. On the plus side, I think that means, because you've seen the new meme is like Godzilla versus King Kong.
Yeah.
I think their money's on King Kong because we're the dancing monkeys.
We are the dancing monkeys, that's what
So
it
there
is.
you go.
Those people are,
Yes.
those Godzillas are Jeremy Horde, Sab2557, Record Friction, Real Kermit Cinema, Diogo. The Weekly Planet is objectively the best podcast on the internet. Adam, how dare you make me say that? Huh? There we go. Dan, Cats Bacoral, he's taken away his question mark and it's ruined it.
I hate that.
Isak Manny, Doc Nutella, Super Whale Ben, Albiscori, Poopy de Scoop Scoop Diddy Whoop Whoop de Scoop de Poop. I'm getting better.
He's my favourite.
He is the best. He is the best. Hooded Dude, Benedict Clobbers, Batfan527, Christian0210, Max H, Fishy, Oscar Morgan, Cobra SS, and Jack Nicholas. Thank you so much for keeping the lights and mics on and the gaming going here at Conversations, you true gamers. A lot of extra people there. Thank you all so much for being here.
So look, before we get into the next topic, Conversations Day.
Yes.
Always a highlight of our Januaries.
Yes. I mean, my birthday as well. But
I'm pretty sure there's nothing else important happening in January. My chick's on the 2 days after yours, I think. Conversations Day is fun, but we do way better than I expect.
yes.
I have what I would like it to do, then I really all the way back to what I think it probably would do.
Yeah.
Which is way lower than that. And what we always actually do
what we do.
is way better than that. And we hit we went from 28 patrons to 35.
Yeah.
It's nuts. We almost hit, we had 750 was our total.
750 is our total target. We went from, I think it was £375 before the month of February. We jumped all the way up to a staggering £670. So we're like £75 away from hitting our full goal.
Right. And we had
£25 away from hitting the Eddie OnlyFans. So that's
right. And we had 15 days to do it for January because Conbrosations Day had to go later because some dickhead caught COVID.
They don't know what that is.
No, they don't know. Yeah, I got corona.
Yeah.
And then work.
Yeah.
We both had to work. And you have a family, which always gets in the way. So inconvenient for me.
So inconvenient, my family.
But so we had 15 days for January. Killed it.
Yeah.
Absolutely killed it. The Patreon's doing really well. The Discord's doing great. We started as well, we joined the 4 Pillars Network, the FPN with the flagship product over there. It's been a really busy 2021 for us.
Yeah.
Super busy.
Guys, before we get started on this, if you don't mind me just putting this in here, this is my usual shilling, the only shilling that I do in this whole podcast.
Yeah, go for it.
Guys, if you do love the podcast, if you do love what we do here, and you do think we should carry on going, if you think we should get even bigger and better, you guys can support us in a couple of different ways. You can like this video, you can subscribe to the channel, you can tell all your friends about this podcast. It's one of the cool ways you can do it.
That's right, because not everybody can donate and join the Patreon and stuff. In fact, some people were saying their parents.
You're not going to give me the time to say it.
No, you're right. You're right.
When people say there was one person actually, it was a new person.
Yeah.
They were like, oh my God, I'm 20 minutes in and you're still doing the YouTube shield thing. First of all, we had a 20-minute segment before.
Yes.
Where we spoke about other stuff.
Yeah.
And then you're counting the 2 minutes in between where we spoke. But then second of all, I was like, yeah, sometimes, I didn't say this, but I was like, yeah, Sheps sometimes jumps in, so it ends up going 6 minutes when it's a 1 minute
segment.
segment.
Let me derail this really quickly.
Go on.
No, go on.
Okay. If you guys want to support us.
Wait.
If you guys want to support us, you guys can like the video. You can share this video wherever you guys feel necessary. It helps us out. It helps get more bros in the Conbrosations community.
You were so close to Conbrosations Nation. It would have fit so well.
I was going to say it, and I don't know why
And I also really love, because frick this one new guy, that when I interrupted you, you started from the very beginning. You went right back to...
Now we're starting again. It's also available on podcast services as well as YouTube, so you guys can check that out there if you want to. If you're over there, give us a 5-star rating. It really helps us climb those ranks in Apple Podcasts and stuff like that. If you're driving an ambulance, like we say, pull over to the side of the road, pull out the guy in the back who's dying from whatever heart disease, whatever is going on.
Just face scan him or take his thumb print.
So Apple Podcast, True Gamer Podcast,
5 stars.
5 stars.
Right.
This is really great. Put a typo in there so they know it's
keeping it on brand. That's right.
But that really helps. But also, if you guys want to go an extra mile, this is totally optional, but if you do want to go that extra mile, you do want to support us and help buy cool equipment like this and sound really cool, and then get maybe a better camera that doesn't look like a potato for Sheps.
That's right.
You guys can help us out by heading over to patreon.com/Conbrosations, where for as little as $1 a month, you can get an exclusive podcast, the Conbrosations podcast. You can get early access to this podcast. You could be a true gamer, and you can be so much more, including you could get this official True Gamer t-shirt for the month of February.
That's right. You can be so much more. You will be a better person by giving us your money.
That's what he's saying. That's what they say. Being charitable makes you a better person.
I actually want to pimp this because you and I did a lot of thinking on the $5 tier.
Yeah,
is the sweet spot. Super Bros are the best human beings. You can't get better than those.
I hate them, to be fair,
but in terms of if you're just looking to value max it, the $5 tier gets you all the extra stuff. You get your name read out. You get, is it 15% off on the merch store, which you forgot about that. Buy our merch.
That's something as well. Merch store, I think it's 20% off at the moment, 25% off I should say at the moment. Link in the description. Head over there. Patreon, a good place.
That's right. You don't want to walk around naked. Right, so buy our merch. You're only allowed to wear our merch now.
I have to say, this was all very confusing. We just said a bunch of words back and forth. But anyway, guys, if you do head over there, that's really awesome. It does help us out. And as well, if you do want to get some cool merch, you can head over there. You can get a True Gamer mug like Sheps has got right here. You can get some cool, awesome merch, True Gamer stuff over here. it all goes and helps out, especially to our Conbrosations thermometer, which, as I said,
The spermometer.
Spermometer, that's right. We are £75 away from hitting our maximum goal that we set right there, which will get us the new camera that we're asking for, and has already paid for these mics and everything like that.
Yeah.
And I'm staggered that we've even got this far.
Yes.
It's really, really cool.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for doing that. And that's all the shilling I've
You're
got
such
today.
a shill. By the way, because there's more shilling. No, for real, if you are enjoying this, or if you've come over from the FPN, our Discord, which we don't like, we push the Discord. We don't make anything.
Join our Discord.
Yeah,
Because when you say our Discord, it's like, what's that?
yeah, our Discord.
Join our Discord. Yes.
Our Discord. Join it. We don't make anything from the Discord, right? It's the one thing that we push that doesn't like benefit the channel. It's 100% community, and I freaking love it. We accidentally started a business. Well, one of our guys started a business because of us, right? Like he's got an Etsy, he's making an Etsy shop.
Oh, you mean Chris? Sorry, I
Yeah.
thought he was talking about us. I was like, wait a minute.
No, like, you know, I love the show and tell room.
Yeah.
It's such a cool place to hang out and talk about anime. It's an anime Discord.
It's an
anime Discord now.
It's actually a hentai Discord, but we pitch it as an anime one so we don't get flagged
For the
not safe for work.
connoisseurs. By the way, I'm hoping someone from our combined audiences has the art skills to make me a big milfy mummy Geraldine with the afro and the tentacle monsters, because I just think that would be such a cool thing to wake up, open Twitter, and there's like a Geraldine in either like ridiculously small like schoolgirl anime thing or in the 70s thing, but she's like milfy with the afro with tentacle monsters behind her, just because that's what I laid out as a joke. But I think it'd be hilarious for someone with the skills to actually do that.
Help me, guys. Help me. Please help me. Send help.
Fun fact, once we're done with the ridiculous amount of stuff we have for Streamcast, you are committed to at least one final thing for Anime Club.
House of the Dead.
High School.
High School of the Dead. I was just thinking.
I can't stand it.
Yeah.
We're really not. As much as I joke about the hentai thing, I hate fan service. In fact, I actually, no joke,
I'm sorry I went on this, guys. I said was 3 words and it started the whole thing.
It's actually a good point. Let's get back to gaming.
Okay, guys. So True Gamer Podcast. Let's talk a little bit about. Let's start off with the big thing that happened.
There's been a few.
The big thing is the GameStop stock situation, which
we're
going to say
short
multiple
squeeze.
times, and I'm telling you, I'm going to get it mixed
Just
up.
call it GME.
That makes it even worse for me for some reason.
Just call it game.
I'm
Actually,
thinking
there
of
might be
the
legal
GameStop stock when I say those 3 words together.
Yeah.
Anyway, for those of you guys that didn't follow, GameStop's stock has
Already
shot up so much. It's gone from like double digits into like close to 500 at one point. I saw something like that, and it's all because of people on Reddit in the Wall Street Bets subreddit.
Yeah.
Who were trying to essentially, they spotted something by investors, hedge fund investors, and they tried to essentially combat them because...
I can show you how to find these stocks, by the way, if you care.
Let's not leave that now.
Yeah.
Let's stick to the topic.
Okay.
But essentially what it was that... Tell me if I've got this right. These hedge fund people...
Yes.
They were borrowing stocks to...
So you're explaining what shorting is.
Yeah, so I'm going to try and explain it my way, and then Sheps can tell it, fill in any blanks and do whatever he can there. So they borrowed stocks in order to essentially... They call it a short squeeze, right? So
no.
The way
Short squeeze is what's happening right now.
Oh, so that's what's happening.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
So they were trying to essentially make money. These hedge funds, they were trying to use that money to make more money. So that's what they always do. They invest money.
Yeah.
But what they do sometimes causes businesses to bankrupt.
Kinda.
And I think the people of Reddit were almost like Robin Hood almost. They were like, we don't want you to do that to GameStop because a lot of people could lose their jobs.
It's funny.
But then they went against them, and then they suddenly found that they were going to make them go bankrupt and lose trillions, and they were making millions or something like that.
It's funny that you said they were like Robin Hood, because Robin Hood is an app that's in the middle of this scandal.
And is getting fucked for it.
So the basic premise is this.
Give your best explanation first.
First things first, what is r/Wall Street Bets? Wall
go.
Street Bets. It's important to know, right?
Yeah.
Wall Street Bets is a place that's famous for having enormous losses and some pretty big wins.
Okay.
Right? This is where whales go to say, like, I'm buying 100,000 shares of this thing at like 10, so that's like $1 million, and then lose like 90% of it. Just whales, right? But also they have some pretty enormous wins as well, right? Just guys going Hail Mary, they're going all in on every hand, right? A poker analogy, something that we both know a bit better. And what somebody noticed was that there was shorting is when, you know, everybody know.
Don't do that, but just tell what shorting is.
Okay. Everybody knows the expression buy low, sell high.
Yes.
They, like the money people, invented a way that you could do the reverse, where you can buy high and sell it low and make the difference. It's called shorting.
Right.
It's where you buy a stock, which is where you said borrowing. You borrow a stock from your broker. Right? Sell it, and then you buy it back again.
Okay.
And it's this process that causes the short squeeze, because you have to buy it back to get out.
Right, and you give that stock back, the one that you bought back, because it's borrowed.
You have to,
but then you keep the difference.
But the way you give it back is you purchase it.
Right.
And you make the difference. If the stock went up, you lose it. If the stock went down, you bought it, you sold it at a high price and bought it back again at a low price, you make the difference.
And all of this is based on that stock price going down. Otherwise, you lose money if it goes up.
Shorting is, you know, The Big Short, the movie in the housing crisis?
I don't know it, but I know of it.
It's actually really good. Yeah. And they have a really great scene with Margot Robbie explaining stuff in a bubble bath with champagne. It's pretty great.
Good stuff.
It's called The Big Short because they shorted the housing market. They bet the housing market would go down. It did, so they made money.
Cool.
So shorting's what you do if you want something to go down and make money. What somebody on r/Wall Street Bets noticed was there was something like 120% short, which means that there was more shares shorting than existed of the stock. So hedge funds,
how does that work?
It doesn't. It's financial services being corrupt and not corrupt. It's technically legal. There was nothing illegal about it, but it's like, it's not the way this should work. It shouldn't even have been possible.
Okay.
But there was incredible short momentum on this thing.
Right.
And what they decided to do was to buy a lot. Just keep buying.
Oh, and with the combined power of the internet.
So with everyone pumping it,
yeah,
and this is different to a pump and dump, it causes a short squeeze. And the way this works is that you push the stock up, right?
Yeah.
And to preserve their position, to stop themselves losing money, the hedge fund will close its position. But the way you close a short is to buy the stock. Because you borrowed it, the only way to close the position is to buy it back.
Right, yeah.
And eat the loss. So they would eat the loss, but in turn push the stock even higher because they're buying it.
Yeah, exactly.
Which pushes it up towards another hedge fund's stop where they close, and it pumps and pumps and pumps. That's why it's called a short squeeze, because the more it goes, the worse it gets.
Right.
The more buying pressure it gets, until either people take profit, like the guys that bought in at the very bottom have made multiple millions.
I've seen some stuff. People are like, look at my portfolio, 33 million. I'm
look,
like, whoa.
Some people bought 1,000 shares at $5.
Yeah.
Which isn't ridiculous stuff in this world.
Yeah.
And it's at $500.
Yeah.
They made 1,000%. Are you really not going to...
Beautiful.
Yeah, of course you are. You made $500,000 on a...
And you're going to sell at that point.
Of course you are.
Set yourself up for life.
Right. So that's what a short squeeze is. All these people were short. They wanted it to go down. Reddit pumped it up. And as the price went past to get out of it and stop eating a loss, they had to buy the stock back, which pushes the stock even higher up.
That was the bit I didn't understand. Yeah. I'm not a stock connoisseur. I'm sure like a lot of people listening, and I'm sorry we're getting a little bit technical here, but I feel like this was interesting anyway. It crosses gaming, and it also demystifies what the stocks are for most people. Like for me, I don't understand what stocks are.
Yeah.
And I'm sure a lot of people watching don't. And there's probably, they're like, oh, I don't want to touch it because I don't understand it. But this seems more attainable now, because the common man can do it and then show the hedge funds what's going on.
What this did was cross like multiple Venn diagrams. So you had gamers, because it's game.
Oh yeah.
You had memers, because memes are the way this thing pumped, right? Like Wall Street Bets would have got somewhere.
Yeah.
But I think they took it from like $10 to maybe $50.
Yeah.
It's memes that took this thing to $500. And you think I'm joking? I'm not joking. It's memes that did this, right?
I could believe it.
And it's talking to memes. I bought like 3,000 Dogecoin, or Dogecoin, or however you're supposed to say it, on the meme. And I am, because it's functionally free money to me, because I forgot that money was in the account.
Yeah.
I'm not selling it till it hits $420.69. I'm not even joking. At $420.69, I have an order set. But unless it gets there, I'm not selling, because I only got into it for the meme.
Yeah.
And people are like, oh, we'll take it to $1. And I'm like, I'm hoping it'll do a Bitcoin and hit $1,000, because otherwise I'm not going to make any money on it.
But that's essentially what a short squeeze is and what's happening there. And they're pushing it further and further up. And the hedge funds that didn't buy out because they're expecting, I guess, to come back down.
Here's the big deal. Here's where this gets like dodgy.
Go on.
Because it's not just the memes. Like one of the other groups of people that want to fuck over the man. Yeah. And I use the hard F there because it's important. Because the financial services, like, do you remember after 2008? Like, these are the same guys that laughed at everybody going bankrupt and popped champagne.
Yeah, I've seen those videos and whatnot. People protesting in the streets, and they're just like, "Ah,
so this is Occupy
poor people."
Right, this is Occupy Wall Street, except it's actually going to work, and it has worked. And so it's not about making money. Well, some people are making money. It's not really about making money. It's about doing over the hedge funds and the people that manipulate the markets. Where it gets really dodgy, though, is that big common man platforms like Robinhood, which is a everyman trading app in America, shut buy positions. So you could not buy GameStop stock. Yeah. You could only sell. Yeah, you did. You can only sell. And they also shut the market and only let people get out at suppressed prices. It's very strange what's going on.
I saw all that, and I saw some like news articles and stuff like that, and people mentioning it, and I was like, as far as I know, the only reasons why you're allowed to do that is if there's some suspected fraud, which there wasn't any. If the GameStop hadn't disclosed an important piece of the company's information and it was valuable to its value, which it hadn't done. Yeah. And a couple of other things which didn't apply to the situation, which sort of led to the theory that all these insanely rich people that are losing millions and billions are obviously influencing these people and saying, look, our money is getting lost. Fuck those people over there, those poor people. It's our money that you should be protecting.
Pretty much. It looks that way. There is one argument which I've heard, and I don't... The problem with all these things, like we got in science. Yeah. And one of the things that people like to do is make their area bring out its whole own language, so it sounds like only you can do the thing. Yeah, we know that's not true because we learned stupid amounts of Latin to learn about Staphylococcus aureus. Like, just call it bad bug. Yeah, it's bad bug 1.
Bad bug 1.
This one's bad bug 5. Right? Like, you don't need that stuff. So they do this to make it sound complicated. Like only these experts can do stuff. So one of the things that people have argued is that Robinhood and these other everyman stock apps have what's called a fiduciary responsibility, which basically means that it looks like there's potential manipulation going on here. And so they have a responsibility to like maintain the law and order, basically. I don't know if that's a case that I know that Robinhood have been the White House has asked to see their records and subpoenaed some stuff. And there's a class action lawsuit by like the Wall Street Bets types. Yeah. We'll see what happens. Most likely the everyman is going to get screwed because...
As always, right?
Because the same people that...
Sorry, like usual.
Like usual, that's right. Because the same people that did the too big to fail stuff that doesn't work and propped everything up are the same people that whose money is getting lost. So
I was going to say, the government's involved. Oh, right. We're saved.
Yeah, exactly.
Doesn't really work that way. But yeah, so that's sort of what's happening right now. It looks like from the outside anyway is that... And this is all happening. The reason why it's caused so much of a stir, in my eyes anyway, is that hedge funds were making tons of money off of stocks and stuff like that. And no one batted an eye. No one said anything. Nothing ever changed. Yeah. And they were probably bankrupting companies left, right, and center, but making $1 off of it, and it didn't matter to anybody. No one, the financial services wouldn't do anything. The government wouldn't say anything. But the moment that it turned out that a little man was going to make money and the hedge funds were going to lose stuff, then suddenly the rules seem to have changed and everything seems to be changing, and that's why it's causing so much of a stir.
There is another side to this, which is that technically it is market manipulation. The only reason it's news, though, is because it's not supposed to be us that gets to manipulate the market. Normally it is the hedge funds and the banks that manipulate the market. They're called market makers for a reason. We know for a fact that these, I think it's Scion
and they have the
Capital.
money to influence the market and push it and stuff like that.
Yeah, but the big deal is, and we know this, it's just that the way it's done is that Scion Capital, that's the big hedge fund that's sort of at play here. Yeah. We know that hedge funds like this, and in particular because the records have come out, they buy the order books off Robinhood so they can see what you're doing, right? This is why it's a big deal, because somebody on Reddit noticed what they're doing. They're not supposed to. One of the reasons they do that is they only release things quarterly instead of every day. So it gets very complicated. So you could argue there's market manipulation going on here. the other side of that coin is the little guy gets messed around by that all the time. So why should it matter if it's the big guys?
Yeah.
I think I've pitched it to my brother that he makes a movie, you know, the short squeeze.
Yeah.
And makes it about a movie. But you need to sell both sides of it. Like the other side of the coin about the hedge funds, which yes, they are, don't cry that these guys are losing money, right? Is that there are regular people that have their money with hedge funds.
Yeah.
Right? Or ETFs and stuff.
I was going to say that money doesn't just come from like rich people's pockets.
It's not
just
just
like
billionaires, yeah.
pensions and stuff like that. It's
Right.
companies that invest their monies in other companies, or they lend out their money or something like that. So it could be that the school of so and so district's pension now has disappeared. Or
sometimes it's regular people. Sometimes it's like a doctor that makes 70k a year or something,
Yeah.
and sees that this one hedge fund outperforms the market. So I think the market return is about 8% a year on average. And he sees that this one hedge fund gets like 10% a year, let's say. We'll make up the numbers. And he's willing to pay a little bit extra for them to take $5,000 a year from him and just help it grow. And that's his retirement fund or her retirement fund. There are regular people that have the money with hedge funds. It just happens that, you know, Bill Gates' account's going to be quite a lot bigger. Actually, Bill Gates has his own hedge fund that manages just his money.
The Bill Gates.
The Bill Gates fund, I think it's called.
Yeah.
The Gates fund, something like that.
Is that the same fund that's putting microchips in people? Is that the same?
I believe so, yeah.
That is, yeah.
Actually, different fund. They're separated for legal reasons. But
okay.
yes.
Okay, all right, yeah. No problem.
So, you know, like there is another side of that coin, which is that there are regular Joes who are on the other end of that. But for the most part, it's the hedge fund that eats the loss, not...
The ones that were really funny to me.
It's hard to...
There was a couple of videos popped up, and it was of an old man. It was clearly like either he had a large investment or he was part of a hedge fund or something like that.
On the news?
Yes.
Yeah, crying. Big old crocodile tears.
He's like crying about how like, oh, these people are just sitting at home getting their checks from the government and then investing it in ways that they don't know how and causing things that they don't know. It's like, they make your money. And it's at your expense.
Yeah.
That's what they know.
Yeah, he's crying. He was crying because he was the game master and made the rules, and suddenly someone's playing by the rules that he put down, and he's losing.
He's Death from Bill and Ted.
Yeah, exactly. So
he's pissed off that he lost.
Right. So don't feel bad for guys like that.
No.
Crying crocodile tears, right?
So fucking funny.
Yeah, these are the same... The dudes, ideally, that are losing the money are the guys that pop champagne while the economy crashed in 08. Those are the guys you want jumping from... towers because they lost the whole account, right? Frick those guys. So there you go. It's kind of a complicated thing. What is a short squeeze? Like, one of the best things to come out of it, and the reason I have like 3,000 Dogecoin is the memes and like Elon Musk talking about this stuff and so like, I am meme, the destroyer of shorts, and
I've seen all of it. Like today, especially, his Twitter's been going mad. He's been
how's my Dogecoin?
He's been talking about Dogecoin as well, so I guess that made the price go up.
He's helped it pump a bit, yeah.
The thing that I really liked from this whole thing is that obviously seeing billionaires cry a little bit is kind of fun and more stuff like that. But what was really cool about it was that, like I said before, it's sort of demystified the stock market a little bit.
Yeah.
Where like previously a lot of people it was either someone like yourself who sits down and researches and has a look at it and goes, okay, I think I understand. I've got enough education in this where I can do it.
Yeah.
But now it has to make all those people who are in it, like the big companies, think again, because like, I can't use all these scummy tactics because someone out there might figure out, look what happened last time and whatnot. We could lose a ton of money. And I like that it's a bit more demystified now and that other people can get into it more freely.
What I hope is that nothing happens to like the Wall Street bets guys.
Yeah.
Right. They probably are going to jail for a really long time because the one thing governments cannot tolerate is the average guy not only making money, but making money at their expense.
Exactly. Which is unfortunate.
Yeah.
And fucking...
But in an ideal world... nothing will happen.
Yeah.
And the hedge funds will have to realize that if they start doing scummy stuff, which they've all big money that, you know, when they say money makes money, right?
Yeah.
That big money that makes money because it has enough money has always been scummy and will always do the dirty thing and do you over. That hopefully they realize that someone can see what they're doing. Whether it's like they have to announce it, because they do have to announce this stuff. Ideally, what they do is the scummy thing, close it up, wrap it up, and then by the end of the quarter announce, and oh, look, everything's clean. And then at the start of the next quarter, start doing their scummy stuff, wrap it all up, and announce that they're clean again.
Yeah.
Hopefully, they'll know and realize that enough people are watching and have an idea of what's going on, that they're going to just have to start playing by the rules. Because at the end of the day, like, fraudulent, scammy stuff never really works. Like the Wolf of Wall Street, the actual guy Jordan Belfort, who I follow, I like his YouTube channel. He's kind of funny. He's not comedic way. I think he's funny because he's funny to look at and hear what he says. He's not trying to be funny. He's a prime example of it, right? And he's even said, like, doing scammy things in the long run isn't profitable. It doesn't work out. You go to jail and stuff. And he made hundreds of millions himself, scamming people out of stocks and stuff. Now I think he's as rich or richer, and he sells sales training because he's a great salesman, and it's a legit business. In general, legit things last longer and they have no dark downside, whereas you might make a lot of money in a really short period of time doing disgusting things like these hedge funds, but then some legend on Reddit comes and does you over, and then when Robinhood tries to pull everything, they go, well, we're just going to do a class action against you because we can, because apes together strong.
I hope something comes of that, just because Robinhood as well, it's just so ironic from the name that they're supposed to help the poor, supposed to help the little guy, and then they've gone and done exactly the opposite.
Right, like YouTube.
And they deserve it. Yeah, it was YouTube at one point.
Now it's us tube.
Now it's corporation tube right there.
Right.
Anyway, I feel like we've spoken a lot about the stocks.
Yeah, it overlapped.
It's been a bit technical, and I feel like it was worth getting that information out there. I hope you guys enjoyed it anyway. But let's talk about something a bit more gaming, shall we?
All right.
Mass Effect Legendary Edition.
Wait. You were talking about getting technical before? Because Mass Effect is one of my ultimate franchises. This is, boys, you're going to want to go and get yourself a cup of tea.
Get yourself comfortable, lads.
Settle into your cushions.
Ooh, right here.
Find that spot in the sofa that you've been sitting that's just perfectly molded to the cheeks and settle in. Yeah.
So
get some lower lumbar support.
And it showed off a new trailer showing off what the Legendary Collection looks like, what the graphics are going to look like, what the upres looks like, and I think it looks pretty damn good.
It does look good. Do you know what's funny?
Go on.
Without looking at the side-by-sides, I was like, it's the same game. Because in my mind, I was like, are they going to show us the update? That's what it looks like.
Is there going to be a swipe in a second? And then suddenly, oh, my eyes.
Right. And then you go on Twitter and you see all these things like, God damn, it does look good, doesn't it?
Was that what it looked like back then?
Right.
God, no.
Oh, my God, Mass Effect 1 looked so bad.
Yeah. I didn't play any of them, but I saw their updates and I was like, okay, that's a decent update. And it looks modern enough that, like I said, I can play now because my main issue was, I don't know about playing old games.
Stuff.
I like new stuff. One of the main things that they said, and this was going around on Twitter, but I don't think you told me. They said they've updated controls and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And apparently it plays a lot better and a lot nicer now.
That'll be Mass Effect 1 they're talking about.
Okay, I thought so. Usually the first ones are a little bit iffy and whatnot.
No.
Not iffy. Worse than iffy.
Rough.
Iffy's here and then done.
Rough. Mass Effect 1 was rough. 2's brilliant. 3's
like a
same
nice
UI.
beard rough.
Like sandpaper toilet roll, like it was rough. I don't know. I love the game, but it was not.
I thought you was going to say I love sandpaper toilet paper.
I mean, sometimes you just got an itch, Get that 36 grit.
It's red.
Once you're past brown and into red, you're good. You're clean.
Anyway, it looks gorgeous. It's coming out on the 14th of May, 2021.
Yes.
Very, very soon.
Yes.
I think that falls in a very good spot for me to be able to play it, actually.
Both of us,
There's not very much coming out at that time, so could be quite cool. And you've told me to play it, and I
oh my God, yeah.
I wouldn't have believed you, but Ethan said something as well. So
right, other people with good takes. So.
Exactly. But yeah, it's coming out, and that looks quite cool. How excited are you, my bro?
Earlier, I was actually going to ask, would you stream it? Because if you don't, I'm gonna.
I think you should.
What,
really?
Yeah.
Oh, because it's like my first experience.
Right. Like, weirdly, this pops into my head. So, for a while, I streamed like 3 or 4 times Final Fantasy 9. Mm-hmm. I played that game so many times, I kind of know it inside and out. Yeah. So, we would do these things, and people were like, oh, why are you doing this? I'm like, well, it's important to get this because it sets us up with like 10,000 gil early on in the game, and it's a silly mini game, it's easy to do sort of thing, right? My brother came on at the point where I was talking about one of the moves. I was like, yeah, later on in the move, instead of like steal, you get this thing called mug, so you can steal stuff and do damage. And he's like, how the hell do you remember that? This game's like 20 years old. By the way, Final Fantasy 9 is his like go-to game. He'll play it today.
Standard.
In fact, I think he's looking to set up an old PS3 with it on. So, like, we both love this game. It's like a childhood game of ours. And that's one of those things is like, I know that game so well, same with Mass Effect, that it's like, it's not fun for me to play. It's probably just not fun for people to watch me play, because I know what side quests I need to go on to get that easily missed companion character, right? I know that when you meet Legion, you have the option to kill him, but he's a cool character to have.
These are characters I don't know.
Yes, I forgot you don't know that, yeah. But so, like, some of these, one of the companion characters, you actually have the option to kill. I think you do kill him, or maybe he breaks free. I don't quite remember. Played it so many times, and I've always ended up with him on my team. That, you know, like, I know what's going on. And for example, your first playthrough, you'll have options to pick the Renegade or the Paragon dialogue options. Yeah. Right? And it's just one's red, one's blue, and one makes you like badass, and one makes you like good badass. Yeah. And it doesn't affect anything in terms of like romance or anything. It's just how you want to play the game. And I want to watch you be like, well, we've done 5 good ones, but I really want to say this to this guy. He's annoying me.
I really just want to say, fuck you.
Right, exactly. And I want to watch you like start asking
wrestle
questions.
With that.
Yeah, like, does it matter if I do a few Paragon and then one like Renegade, or should I just do the Renegade because I'm working towards Renegade and, you know, all that stuff. I want to watch you do it, or like start figuring out the conspiracy, or what happens when you become... anyway,
we'll leave it up to the guys, I think, because I'm happy to play it. Obviously, it's really cool. I'm gonna do it anyway. But you do have an attachment to it, and maybe people want to see that.
But I want to see you.
But you do play games wrong, so there is that.
There is the inversion. I want to see you ask the questions that I've obviously asked a million times when you meet Edie.
Classic. Yeah, I remember Edie. Yeah. Those questions.
You know, we've actually talked about a very similar topic multiple times. And I'm going to be curious to see you actually confronted with being able to act on it. I'm not telling you anything. We're going to watch you meet Edie and see if you, yeah. Also, I'm genuinely curious to see who you romance, because there's a lot of really good options.
Interesting.
And new characters. I bet you're a Jack fan.
Well, I do like Jack. Jack sounds like a nice...
Actually, Jack's a surprisingly interesting romance.
Yeah?
Not my brother, Jack.
Oh, sorry, my apologies. Sorry,
in the game.
Yeah. Sorry about that. I thought we was talking about Jack, our mod in the Discord. I thought we was talking about...
Oh, yeah. Got a romance, Jack.
His hunky arms is just what I've been wanting.
I really want to watch you play it. Because I want to get to experience you playing it.
Our boy Hood writes in to the Discord server, and he says, Bioware lost years of goodwill after Anthem.
Yeah.
Bethesda after Fallout 76. So he leads into a question with this. But basically, he believes that Bioware have lost a lot of goodwill after Anthem and whatnot.
I agree.
Do you have hope for this then? Because they're doing like the remaster, they're getting everything ready again. Do you think that will it stay true to what it was, especially if they're making control changes?
It looks like, for the majority of it, it looks like what they did was focus almost entirely on graphical updates.
Yeah.
And then use the UI from 2 and 3 in 1. Just make it a flat standard UI across all 3 games, which is not the trash one from 1. And then just upgrade, keep everything the same except make it look good. And if that's the case, hell's yes. I think it'll be amazing. I think it'll be really good. If they start messing with the story, and I'm one of those people that's not a fan of Mass Effect 3's ending. I found it really... not disappointing, kind of worse than disappointing. I give it a nothing, the ending, which is worse.
You've told me how you really it's just eh.
Yeah, like I felt like the decisions I made in 2 affected the game a bit, and I was excited to see how they would affect number 3, because, you know, you port the saves over. Yeah. So like if there's a character that you kill in 1, they won't be in the next one. And that character might be a really big deal in 3, as an example. Nothing's that major. Yeah. And I felt like my decisions in 2 made an impact. And I was curious to see how they would come out in 3. And ultimately, I felt like the ending of 3, nothing I did made any difference. I just was always fated to this exact point, which is a game, I get that. But I never felt like my actions had a big impact.
It's tough to do that kind of writing for real and whatnot. Sure. But you have the keys to the car. So if you decide to make a game where you make decisions and where you give the illusion of choice,
right,
then you need to have a choice and have a difference in what's going to happen.
Exactly.
So yeah, you kind of can't. You have to blame them for that.
But all of that to say that I hope they keep the game the same.
Yeah.
Even though I didn't like the ending to Mass Effect 3, I want it to be exactly the game we played.
Change that.
Yeah.
That big. It has
Don't change it, but just make it look great and have the UI from the good UI in one. Apparently, it's also coming with a lot of the DLC that we played when it was out, which would be good. I think that should be included in the game because a lot of it's a lot of world building type stuff in there.
Yeah.
So I think that's a good idea.
Felipe, let me finish what he was saying just here. I stopped myself. But
Sorry,
wait, no, you didn't stop. I stopped myself during this. But he goes, let me read out the whole thing. He says, Bioware lost years of goodwill after Anthem, Bethesda after Fallout 76, Blizzard after Diablo Immortal, CDPR after Cyberpunk, and to use the Batman quote, we've seen what promises are worth, but how many good guys are left? How many stayed that way? The guy loves his Batman vs Superman. It's fantastic. Felipe, we love you, man. There's a man of true taste right there. It's just to use the best Batman quote that I know.
I feel like knowing Felipe just a little bit, that might not have been the quote he used.
No, that's definitely he's a big Batman vs Superman fan.
Okay, well,
he'll let us know in the chat when he's watching. Obviously,
I trust you enough to not even bother clicking just to there. I'm not even going to bother because I won't.
Don't worry about it. You got it right there.
Good pick. Best Batman quote about the best Batman and the best Joker.
It's true. Exactly. One thing that did pop up that was
that even hurt me to say. I like the Suicide Squad Joker because I go with that quote proves my theory that it's Jason Todd.
Yeah.
But even still, that hurt. It hurt.
Something cool that is coming with the Mass Effect game.
Yeah.
Something you might like. A Legendary Cash Edition.
Send me a link right now.
I will send you a link right now.
What's the price tag? This isn't going to be like Discord, an $1,800. Yeah, this isn't going to be like an $1,800 coat.
It's $150.
That's not that bad.
So it's not that bad.
I regret not getting the Doom Eternal one.
Yes.
Like badly, and I also regret talking you out of the early edition. I feel like at the time it was the right move because of what we knew.
Now, what this is, this comes with. Comes with. Let me explain it before you say anything.
No.
This comes with
wear it?
Beautiful one-to-one scale replica helmet, which I love the colors, by the way. It looks gorgeous. I don't even have any attachment, but I love the colors and everything.
Oh, the N7 branding is the Normandy stuff. Oh.
I have no attachment to the game, but every time I see it, I'm like, yes. It comes with a canvas print. It comes with an N7 acceptance letter, which is probably going to turn you on nicely. A steel book case, which looks beautiful. Some Morality Spinner pins. They're going to have the Paragon and Renegade
sick.
Stuff
Yeah.
But not with the game.
I don't care. I'll buy this on the side. Who cares?
You got EA. You know exactly who you're marketing to. Basically, people are kind of pissed off with the fact that it's $150 and it doesn't come with the game.
Coming with the steel book, the steel case, should have the game inside of it.
You'd think, right? Or just it's got the case. That's like going, hey, do you want a condom? Here's the condom wrapper. No, you don't. You don't get the condom. Easy now. Come on. What do you expect?
Where's the link to buy it, though?
Where's the link to buy it? He's almost there, guys. He's almost there.
I think the reason you like the helmet is you played Dead Space, didn't you?
Yes.
It's very Isaac Clarke.
Yeah.
It's got that same aesthetic to it.
To be fair, there's not a helmet, I think, out there of a fictional character in a video game that isn't cool.
The designers are pretty good. There's very few games that...
Doom Guy, Master Chief... this N7 one here, I don't know who it belongs to, but someone there.
I hate you so much.
It belongs to
Commander Sheps.
He's a farmer, right? What's his he farms sheep or something like that. He's a dog. What's it called?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
He's a shepherd or something like that, right?
I honestly don't know what you're talking about.
He's hurting inside. Anyway, it looks really cool anyway.
It does look really cool.
And even I would bloody buy it. But the problem is that I don't have an attachment to it. And I have been burnt before.
Think about how bad you're going to feel not buying it when you do have an attachment to Mass Effect. That's my pitch.
Do you know what? I felt this way about Bloodborne and I wish I'd bought like a collector's edition for that. All I have is the crummy standard edition.
I do feel genuinely bad about talking you out of the early edition, and I feel really bad talking myself out of the Doom Eternal collector's edition. But at least that one came with the game.
That one did come with the game. I will say I did buy the Red Dead Redemption 2 version, and that didn't come with the game. I was totally cool with it. I was just like, I do like this. I don't like this game. I'm going to buy it.
It's just what happens if I get it and it isn't a canvas helmet, like it was in the pictures.
It's like
looking at you, Fallout 76.
3D printed, but it's like shitty, crummy 3D filament or something like that. Still got the wiring coming off of it.
I wonder if you can see through that visor.
You probably can, right?
God, I want this so bad.
What would be really... Oh my God. What would be so bad is if it's a helmet...
You can't wear.
But you can't wear it. Like the inside's filled with something and whatnot.
Yeah, it's just a full print. It's 100% infill sort of thing. I would be very angry. Very
angry. Do you know what? That's got to be the worst. I don't know what I would be doing at that point. That'd be worse than the blue light and the white light on the PS5.
Can you wear the Mass Effect?
No way there's an answer already for that.
Let's find out. Yeah, so Games Radar says Mass Effect. I agree, whatever. You can steal all my information. Includes a wearable helmet.
Wearable, okay.
Oh, it actually looks really good now. You can see through that. Oh, that looks good.
It just went from 6 to midnight for Sheps over here.
Oh, mate. Here, I'm just going to send you this so you can see it. Sorry, guys, talk amongst yourselves. But
oh, okay, they've got a real
actually looks really good. It looks better than in that previous picture. If that's the thing I get, would you say it's $150?
Yes.
So it'd be £150. It looks good.
Oh my God, why is there so much shit on this website?
This is
Games Radar. What the hell's wrong with you?
Central, innit? Like Bioware Gear Store. I'm just thinking about it. I'm not gonna do it. I did it.
Oh, you should do it. You should do it. Oh God, it looks so good.
It looks really good.
Yeah. Oh look, you can see the box they open up in this.
In 5 days.
So now we're just watching the video making like orgasm sounds.
Okay, this is I'm gonna grab a couple extra shifts, I think, and make that a thing. So I mean, I'm getting the game and apparently a helmet. So the game's gonna cost me about $200.
Does your girlfriend know that you're gonna have sex with her wearing this helmet? Well, actually, you didn't know about having the helmet until now, so clearly no. So tell her tonight and let me know how that goes.
Wait, I'm gonna get to have sex?
Are you gonna for the first time?
No, with this virginity shield, I'm not. God, I want this.
Oh God. Anyway, the legendary cash, $150 if you want it. You have to buy the game yourself as well. But yeah, should be quite cool.
With LED effects, helmet includes a switch on the inside to choose between Paragon Blue or Renegade Red. Oh! The lights illuminate the visor and accents on the sides and back, powered by AA batteries. Oh, they're not included.
Oh,
I'm not going to have to get it then.
It's a rip-off, mate. It's a rip-off. Don't do it. Don't do it. I love how they don't give you the game and they don't give you bloody batteries as well. Come on, man. Chuck in some batteries. Anyway.
Totally getting this.
Hood actually asked the question as well. Do you see any other studio going down the path and becoming the villain like all of those studios that you mentioned before? Are there any studios that you really like that you would hate to see go bad?
Yeah, CDPR. I would hate to see them just do over their loyal customer base.
Just trade in all of their goodwill for nothing. I don't think there's anyone else that I can strictly think of right now. I mean...
No, I mean, there's a few, like Sucker Punch.
True, Sucker Punch.
But the problem with Sucker Punch, not the problem with Sucker Punch, but like Sucker Punch were a dev house that you know of, and then they come on with Ghost of Tsushima, which is kind of like their Witcher 3, right? Like, where can they really go from there? I mean, personally, I hope we'll get like a Ghost of Tsushima 2, but it can't be Ghost of Tsushima. It might be like, I don't know, Way of the Ninja Ghosts or something like Shadows of the Past or something, and then have that Jin Sakai link, but it's about like...
They have to go with Ghost of Tsushima 2, unfortunately. because they've put so much effort into a name, they can't deviate from the name again.
The thing is, there is no other.
It doesn't matter. The name will be Ghost of Tsushima 2, I bet you. Anyway.
I think if they do the branding as like the spiritual successor or the successor to Ghost of Tsushima, the thing is, you can't have a Ghost of Tsushima 2 because there's no second invasion. The next thing that happens is they go back.
It's not about the invasion. I know the story's about the invasion, but the name isn't the invasion.
But Tsushima isn't involved anymore.
How do you know?
Because I know the history.
Well, this isn't strictly the same.
No, but it takes a rough historical event and adds a story onto it. There is no second invasion, as far as I'm aware, because the entire Mongol fleet gets sunk by a tsunami. Like, it's a big deal. It's a huge historical event.
But I'm telling you from now.
No, you're right.
Just so you know, it will be Ghost of Tsushima 2. There won't be any other name. There will be no name. Because the amount of effort it takes to establish a name, sometimes they go, oh, we can't greenlight your project because it's just a name that people don't know.
Right, like Ghost of Tsushima. It's a name we don't know. It'll never be successful.
For the first time ever, if you're going to make... Well, they couldn't be like... what did Sucker Punch make before? Infamous.
Yeah.
But like, we want to make a Japanese game. But you have to call it Infamous because that's the name people know. It wouldn't work.
Right.
But they'll be like, you have to go with something people know. But if they make a new brand, then they have to continue with that new brand. I guarantee you it will be... If it's Jin Sakai, it will be...
Jin shouldn't be in it.
Or even if it's... fuck, come on, now you're changing the whole thing. Never... Guys, let me tell you, because he won't listen to sense. If there is another Ghost of Tsushima game, it will be called Ghost of Tsushima 2. I guarantee you.
I think, and I was going to make a video on this, I could just never figure out how to make it a video, that if there is a second Ghost of Tsushima, it shouldn't have anything to do with... It should almost exclusively not be Ghost of Tsushima. It should be about Hattori Hanzo, who's the guy that kind of, in a weird way, founds the ninja, kind of, or asymmetrical warfare in Japan. We're getting into history talk. I
was going to say, you're asking for a different game.
No, but what I want to have is, because it doesn't have to be 100% historically accurate, right? We know this, because Ghost of Tsushima isn't 100% historically accurate, right?
Yeah. That gave me beef a second ago. But the Mongols don't invade again.
Hold on,
because I know history. It's 100% history.
The general event. What I said was, you can't just be like, we can't do like a totally different event that never happened.
No, do it in your voice.
We can't just have So what I think they should do if they make another game is focus it on this guy Hattori Hanzo and just have it turn out that Jin Sakai leaves Tsushima. This would have been maybe 300 or 500 years after the invasion of or maybe before, whichever way around it is, that Hattori Hanzo somehow ends up trained by this group that was founded by Jin Sakai.
Okay.
And he brings that and ends up making it ninja. That would be the general gist of it.
Fortunately, it's not going to happen.
Yeah, because you are saying exactly what the suits in the boardroom meeting are going to say.
And unfortunately, it is what has to happen. That's
but I feel like Sucker Punch can say, we made the Infamous franchise that was well loved, then we completely transitioned and this thing is totally different, and we had no backing to do it. We had no place in the world to make this game, and we killed it. Like, we can make, instead of making it a second in a series, make it a series of standalone games that don't have anything that are spiritual successors but not actually relevant. Like, you don't have to play Ghost of Tsushima to play like Rise of the Ninja or whatever, right? But they're spiritually 1 and 2.
I think everyone can agree with me in the chat in the premiere when we're watching this, and in the comment section if you want to stick that down there. You guys can all agree you're trying to make this world fit to what you want to happen, not what is going to happen. I know you want something cool to happen, and you're trying to make the puzzle pieces fit. You're trimming a piece off of there so it will sit down, but that's not what the world we live in, and that's not what's going to happen.
The reason I'm doing it, I'll be upfront.
Don't get me wrong.
No, you're
I've
right.
done those things because I want such cool things to happen.
You are right.
But that's not
no one's going to sign off on it because they'll say, we'll make a Ghost of Tsushima 2.
Yeah.
The reason I'm pushing for it is because if I was in charge of the Twitter, for example, and the social media, if I was the face of Sucker Punch, I could absolutely make this work. I could sell it to the customer base.
Yeah.
And also ask for your money on patreon.com/conversation.
We do know Sheps knows how to get money for people.
But like, I can I'd be good at spinning the PR and be like, no, we're not doing a Ghost of Tsushima 2. We're doing its spiritual successor. Instead of doing a series of games, we're doing a series of standalone games. You don't need to play the Ghost of Tsushima to play this next one. You should play it because it's the same system and stuff. And there'll be Easter eggs for each. But I could sell that. But you're right. There's no way they're giving up Ghost of Tsushima 2 in favor of like whatever
thing. It's like brand new, untested thing that we don't know. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Anyway, I hope you get something. I hope at least there's even a side mission or something like that. But if they were to go for something cool like that, or even, like you said, the foundations of where the ninjas came from or something like that, it could be quite a cool story to tell. As I said, unfortunately, I kind of know a little bit how they think.
Oh, do you know what? We could do a Ghost of Tsushima prequel with Jin Sakai's dad.
That could work.
Because that's a relationship we never got to explore.
As a member of the board, I am hearing your story, sir.
But I want my ninja game. I want a real ninja game. I want this Ghost of Tsushima, but you get to be a proper ninja because he never goes full ninja. No. But you can't play it as a samurai because no matter what you do, you have to go through the game. It's a linear story and you get treated like you're a ninja, but you never got to fully play as a ninja. And even if you play as a samurai, you get called a ninja. Like, you know, the dishonorable warfare type deal. Yeah. Oh, frustration. Also, I'm tweeting. No. I'm tweeting Sucker Punch.
Here we go.
And asking them for my 1v1 duels.
This has been a war going on, in case you didn't know, guys. Sheps has been asking for 1v1 duels in Ghost of Tsushima Legends multiplayer because the multiplayer came out and it was so amazing, but we just didn't seem to get anything like a 1v1 or a PvP situation. It was always PvE.
Yeah.
So this has been a thing going for a while. I've put my own similar feelings out into the world for a Superman game. This is Shep's thing, and we need to help him get there, okay? We need him to realize his dreams so he can be okay when his other dreams of Ghost of Tsushima get shattered.
This is day 0 of tweeting Sucker Punch, and the tweet reads, please don't make me start tweeting at Sucker Punch Productions every day until you guys make a 1v1 duel system in the Legends mode. Hand tweet.
I'm just imagining like day 456 of tweeting to Sucker Punch.
We're on the PS9. Sucker Punch don't exist. I found the last remaining dev that didn't get wiped out by Corona 5.8.
I was going to say, the world is down to a population of 14 million.
All right.
It's like,
apes rule the world.
This is day 8,000. Somehow Twitter still exists, but this is day 8,900. Please, Sucker Punch, give us...
Just some aliens hanging out by, like, Europa or something like, this one guy still has access to the internet, and all he wants is 1v1... What's a duel?
Don't know, guys. We're going to have to... Let's go down there and find out, okay? Right. Probe him. Let's find out.
Oh, God.
Anyway, let's move on to our next topic. Our next topic is Resident Evil 8. It's only one small topic, and it's our favourite part of Resident Evil 8.
MILFs.
Yes, actually, yes. I wanted to say...
Was it really?
No, but it is, actually. So, the Lady... Dimitrescu.
I don't know.
I don't know how to say it, but I've got it here. Lady Dimitrescu, whatever. Lady D, I'm going to call her.
The dominatrix.
Yes, exactly. The art director for the game came out officially on Twitter to address people's concerns of her.
What were the concerns? What are the concerns? Do you know this, or are you just reading it?
No, I'm reading it right here. He goes, he says, I quote, I hear her height is of interest. And
she's like 8 foot tall, right? She's enormous.
And he comes out to tell everybody how tall she is. 2.9 meters tall.
Oh, that's death by snoo right there.
And the internet went mad with this. Yeah. On top of them, like putting pictures of them in comparison to themselves.
Yeah.
Her in comparison to themselves. They also put it in comparison to other fictional characters.
Right.
Bigger than Master Chief.
Yeah, Master Chief's like 7.5 feet.
Exactly. She's like 9 foot something and whatnot. Mr. X from the Resident Evil games, nothing in comparison.
Send me these tweets?
I'll send you the
link
in just a second. Nemesis, nothing in comparison. There was another Resident Evil character. They were just like, who's that? Yeah. And then you just got and then just like Lady D, just to put on the side. It's just like
we should put James in that list.
James, do you know what? I'm gonna do it. I'm actually gonna get like James, Lady D, and I'm going to post it today as we're recording, and then you guys will know when we watch the podcast.
Actually, if you're doing it, you know there's the squished Keanu meme.
Yeah.
Do like squish Keanu and then James.
I think that would be quite funny.
Yeah, and make it like... We always had this joke that we were going to record and never made the video of me saying, because, you know, I'm a shorter guy.
Yeah.
I was going to say, like, no, I'm a perfectly reasonable height, and then get a tape measure out and go and get the shot of it pulling up, and then next to my head it was going to read like 3'2" or something like that, and say, like, look, perfectly normal.
Perfectly normal.
Optimal,
okay.
even, you know? So maybe have that and make him like 3'2" or 3'6" or something stupid, you know?
Let me see if I can find it, because it was obviously posted on Twitter, so how do you even search for something like that? Oh, no. Oh, I can't find it anymore. I'll have to post it later.
It's funny because she's the villain, right? She's like the big bad, the evil.
Yeah.
She's a vampire.
She's like the alpha vampire woman who's taking people and then using their blood for stuff.
Which is a vampire. You'd expect her to do that.
Yeah, it's almost like they're refined vampires, where they put them in a wine bottle and put them in their wine cellar to age for a little bit, and then they drink it only on special occasions. Okay. It almost seems that way.
That actually makes me more interested to play the game. But I'm not gonna. It's one of the reasons I've stayed away from this, despite having seen like cosplays of this chick.
Yeah,
because I've seen that it has taken over the internet. That I'm not normally inclined to play those sorts of games. It's just not my thing. Even Halo 1,
you're a little bitch, we get it. Yeah,
absolutely. Halo 1, when you're in the library, which doesn't mean anything to you, but you're basically being chased by. Functionally, you're being chased by zombies in a dark room and dark maze. Mm-hmm. I hated that. I hated that.
And that's exactly what this game is.
Right.
Chris writes in, he says, "Is it just me, or am I the only one okay being grabbed and accosted by Lady D?"
The internet has this weird thing where it suddenly got into like the step on me daddy kind of thing, and I feel like because she is 9 feet tall, everybody's like, yeah, like step on me Lady D or whatever. And I made the joke about like the big milky mummy thing, and here is a big milky mummy MILF.
I love how people
vampire.
give you a lot of shit for that, and it's like, hold on, the whole internet is doing it at the moment. Come on.
Yeah. Also, she has got that kind of like 1860s Mississippi landed gentry, talks with a southern accent, oh my kind of like vibe to her. I have no idea what her accent is, but it looks like that's how she talks. Yeah, like a classical southern, upper class southern belle. And I dig I like the way she looks, but she's also terrifying. And people made an edit of her with my face on, and that's even more terrifying.
Oh, that was
nightmare fuel.
Bat fan, you fucking terrible guy.
Degenerate.
Super downright Sydney goes, have you heard the rumor that Lady D has a 1.8-inch penis?
Interesting. So now she's a footer as well. Okay.
All right. Yeah, boy.
You had me at 9 feet.
But now,
I get...
You've already struck gold. You don't need to keep digging.
Right. The real question is she romanceable? No one gets that.
That's our joke.
Why did we start doing that now as well?
Oh, God. Okay, now a serious question about Resident Evil.
We haven't done that in like 8 to 10 years, and suddenly it came back today.
We're weird. We're very weird. It's our own little joke.
Serious question. Are you going to play it in VR? Because apparently it has a VR.
Yeah, I will. I think I will.
You're going to literally shit yourself.
I will. And
also, what's going to happen when Adriana walks in and you're just there like, step on me, mummy. So like this.
I've got my belt around my neck and I'm just pulling it. Like, Lady D. That's probably really bad. Oh, God. Anyway, Josh writes in, he goes, first off, whoever's fantasizing about Resident Evil characters need to seek medical help.
Yeah.
That's
because Jill Valentine has never been the focus of internet romancy things. No.
Never.
Do you even know these?
Because I was literally just doing it and then he says that.
Yeah, no.
He goes, but my question is, what do you think will happen in Resident Evil 8? Hope you gamers are good and get better soon, Eddie. Honestly, my head is a little bit hurting, but I'm putting in the effort for you guys right now. Thank you so much, though. I don't know what will happen in Resident Evil 8 because, like I've said a couple of times, this is actually the first time I'm jumping into Resident Evil. I'm going to play Resident Evil 7, but again, first time ever playing it. And it's very weird from the outside looking in because it seemed like at the beginning Resident Evil was about zombies.
Yeah, zombies, the T-Virus, Umbrella Corp, all that.
And then we moved to Professor X. Sorry, not Professor X, Mr. X. And then he got replaced with Thomas the Tank Engine in the mod.
That's even more terrifying.
And then we've got vampires with a woman who looks like she could really suck off your thing. And I don't understand where we went, but I'm interested to find out.
I think it looks like they are doing a total rebrand or a pivot or a restart or reboot or something. And I think this is probably a really good game to start because you're fresh. And it will be, everybody will be fresh. Whereas if you'd gone in at like RE5, where they were still doing the kind of zombies, Umbrella Corp stuff, you'd be lost. You'd need to have played 5 other games to have any clue what was going on. But I think because it looks like this is brand new, maybe this is probably a good game to start with.
I hope so. I hope so, right there.
But I mean, they say that the remakes so far have been brilliant. Like, is it RE3 got remade? Apparently that's brilliant.
Yeah, RE3 apparently got remade. Oh, so apparently RE4's getting remade.
Maybe. Isn't that a rumor at the minute?
I think it actually was confirmed. Okay. And something else happened. The 2 teams that were working on it, one team wanted to be more faithful to the actual original.
Okay. It's a good idea.
And then the other team wanted to go a bit more in a different direction, much like Final Fantasy VII remake was completely different to the thing remake. And then they had an argument, and now one team's been reassigned.
One team's like making a 9-foot-tall vampire chick.
Exactly.
Right.
One's like, look at what people want.
Right.
Look at it. They want big ass titties and tall bitches.
Did I not send you that GIF of, or like it was a TikTok or something, this guy and like Wolverine pulls out his claws and the guy's like, nah. And then it's that chick from, is it X-Men Origins, and she does her things and he's like, nah. And then this Mrs. D goes shing with like a finger sword.
Yes.
And the guy's like, yeah.
You didn't send that to me, but I would love to see it.
Okay, I'll make sure I send that to you.
Luke writes in and he goes, sup gamers, what do you think is the best character so far in Resident Evil Village? Lady D of them, Resident Evil Village, Lady D of them other mutants.
I guess all the other mutants?
Or all the other mutants, perhaps. Personally, I'd take the other mutants because they're cute, you know. I have to say, the other chicks, because they're an appropriate height.
Right, because it looks, from what I've seen Mrs. D, what's it?
Lady D.
Lady D.
I call her Lady D because I can't say the full name, but yeah.
Lady D, and then there's just other women who are going to eat you. Yes. They have like blood all over their face and stuff.
I'm down to be eaten.
I mean, it doesn't seem like they're characters. It seems they're like canon fodder characters. They're like the regular, like you wouldn't consider an orc in Lord of the Rings to be a character, right?
I think these women, they're like witches or something like that.
I don't know.
I think they're a bit more prevalent. I think they're meant to be more big characters. Okay. By the way, apparently the woman who plays that voice acts the witch, or a couple of the witches,
passed away.
Yeah, passed away. Apparently she played a couple of them, and I was like, what was really thing about it was that apparently she had like a GoFundMe page set up for like her cancer treatment and stuff like that. She died from like, bowel cancer. While she had that set up, she also was playing multiple parts, which kind of speaks to me and says that she was trying to raise all the money that she could, working any job that she can, as many jobs as she can, just so she can try and get the money together. Yeah. I was like, wow, that's dedication, and kind of sucks actually. She's not going to get to see her game come out, right?
That does suck.
But that's cancer for you, isn't it? It's a fucking shitty thing. Anyway, I really like the witches a lot more. I feel like I think they're going to have an interesting character, hopefully, to them, and there'll be an interesting side story to them.
Yeah. I have no idea about the game. I'm probably not playing it unless if it comes out and people complain that it wasn't scary, it was just like a dark thriller, I'll play it. Okay. But if they're like, this is I love it, it's back to like the old days of like being terrified, not sleeping ever, I'm never going to play it. But if it's just like a darker, you're being pursued by this giant vampire MILF, I would play that.
Why not?
But to answer the question, I have no idea about the witches or the other little like mutant ladies, so I don't know. I'm kind of on brand now, which I accidentally made a brand that I like giant MILFs, so I guess I'll pick Lady D.
That's your thing.
It was only a joke as well.
Everyone knows your true feelings, Sheps. Everyone knows.
I mean, if she was a 9-foot tall Afro 70s black chick,
then it would be a different story. Then we're talking, aren't we?
Like Monica Rambeau, more like Monica Dambo.
Dambo!
Yeah, I don't know what it was with that Afro, but it really spoke to me. So
everyone was really like, really, what was going on? That's just...
Mate, it ticked enough boxes, and I was like, suddenly I'm in love. Can't tell you why.
Hey, love is love.
I would love to see more chicks bring back the afro. That would be a great thing.
Well, hopefully the Disney can provide that for you, hopefully. Let's move on to our next topic. Stadia is doing so well, they've closed 2 studios.
Damn it! We were off by like 2 years.
We called it, and bloody hell, we were just like, a bit too soon.
I was like, Xbox has proved that Microsoft will just throw money at this thing and let it continually lose and lose and lose.
Yeah.
I was like, Google must do the same thing. It's Google, come on.
Tons of money.
Right, like, I swear they've lost money on tons of research and development projects, all sorts of things, right? Like, of course this will be up for a couple of years. Like, you've got to compete, and maybe with Microsoft going away, clearly losing at every possible turn to Sony, like, maybe they'll find their way in. Damn it! I knew I was right, but my timeline was off.
Yeah.
That's so frustrating.
One of those studios, they didn't say the name of them.
Okay.
But it was a Los Angeles-based one. And one Los Angeles-based one, I think the only Los Angeles-based one that we know of that Google owns, is like Play Media or something like that, which was the head of God of War's... You know, with the head of God of War, what was her name? Oh, fucking hell. I had her name here a second ago.
Yeah.
The head of God of War moved over to... Oh, I've got the name here. Shannon Studstill.
Yeah.
She moved from the Sony Santa Monica studios to go work for Google, and now they've shut down her studio.
I honestly would think...
And also, there's Stadia's games and entertainment chief, Jade Raymond, has also left the studio as well. Or left the whole company anyway as well. So this is great for Stadia.
Yes, it's great for Stadia. I think... That whole thing about the people from God of War, especially when you're in that senior of a position, it's not like the studio shuts and they're like, well, you're out of a job. They probably either move you to a different division or something, or they're like, yeah, we're going to shut the thing. You get 6 months notice. Make sure you find another
and you
role.
Get paid as well for a certain amount.
Right, you get paid for a bunch of time. And when you have that kind of senior position, it's not typical that you just end up jobless on the dole. You know, like you're in a senior position, it's fairly easy to get a job, if not like a really good job. So
I just think it's pissed because it's like she left and I guess she saw an opportunity to make really cool games over somewhere or to give some sort of her expertise in some sort of way.
Google's sale pitch was great,
and
the
then
product not so
they
much.
just turn around and go, nah, we're not going to do it no more. Kind of really stupid right there. Oh! I shouldn't have shouted into the microphone when I did that, but there you go.
Straight into it.
Like in the end, you did barely a knock, and I just shouted into the microphone.
Make sure you put on screen for the audio virgins, like, well, get fricked. But anybody watching this show, because of course there's a visual show on youtube.com/Conbrosations, crack. Hopefully there'll be like a warning incoming. I don't believe I'll remember to do that. What you should do is instead of your scream, just put like an air siren. So it'll be like warning incoming sound, and then and now we're gonna have to do it twice. I'm not doing it. I'm sorry, it's too much. Get fricked. Anyway, that's the state of Stadia at the moment. They've closed 2 studios. Yeah. I guess they were planning to make a lot of like this could be seen another way, where they were planning to make loads of exclusive content, but rather than invest money in exclusive content with basically no experience in the whole making of games, rather than just marketing them, that they could just take other people's games, like CDPR's games, like Ubisoft games, like whatever games, and just put it on their platform and make money off of the subscriptions, like the way they're supposed to. Kind of like the Nvidia GeForce Now. Exactly. Except they don't. They need to get better. Right now, the message is that Google Stadia isn't worth it because you need to have a stable internet connection, and not everybody does. So they need to change that messaging somehow. I don't know how they do it, but that's their business right there. Yeah, it's an interesting idea. Stadia is a good idea. Yeah, but I think it's probably 5 to 10 years too early because not enough people have a stable enough connection. Yeah, the internet infrastructure, like. We think of internet as an everyday thing, but it's like 20 years old, not even that. When the car was 20 years old, no one even knew what the standardized controls were. Yeah. It took like 50 to 70 years for them to stick to the 3 pedals, steering wheel, Yeah. So the internet's pretty young. We'll see how they do. The next topic is that
PlayStation have sold 4.5 million PlayStation 5s last year. So from November 20th to the end of December.
That's actually a lot more than I thought. That's worldwide, I assume. Yeah.
Worldwide, and that puts it exactly with the PlayStation 4, and that is because the PlayStation 5 had severe supply constraints. I just wish some of those 4.5 million actually went to people.
Yeah, and not scalpers. Yeah,
exactly, which is a bit annoying right there. But they have sold them all, which means it's doing fantastically.
Yeah.
PlayStation also put out their financials. Apparently, their revenues up 40%, their profits are up 50%.
Yeah,
the operating profits anyway. The subscriptions are up as well. They've got something like 45 million PlayStation Plus subscribers.
Doesn't surprise me.
Everything seems to be looking good for PlayStation at the moment, and this comes off right after the back of Xbox announcing their finances, and the amount of information that PlayStation gives versus the amount that Xbox gives is like
that tells the story itself, doesn't it?
It's funny when you put them side to side. One's talking about how many hardware sales they make, how much profit they make, how much how much revenue they bring in, so you can directly subtract it from each other. So you can say this is from subscriptions, this is from games, this is from third parties, and directly work out each little bit. And Xbox is like, we've made this much money as Microsoft. And it's like, okay, that doesn't give us any information.
Well, at least they tell us how many Series X versus Series S's they've sold.
Not at all. They haven't told us.
Oh, no, they
that.
don't.
And it's really, everyone knows why. It's because Xbox
their console's no good. Because there's nothing to play on it, and it is just the next one.
I love saying that, like an ultra reduction. It's like, it's awful, everything's shit. But it's just so funny because they've been doing it since like Xbox has been doing bad and whatnot.
Which is 3 generations now. The 360 was good.
360 was good. I really am looking forward to the day that Xbox finally put out the plan.
They're not gonna.
I feel like they have to. Because
suits.
The idea has been that ever since Don Matrick screwed up the messaging of the Xbox One, that they've been trying to regain control of this ship, and been putting all these things in places so they can eventually go, look at us, we are Xbox, and this is what we've got.
Regaining the ship by doing everything that they were doing already, and not changing course in any meaningful way, even attempting to at all.
At least if it was like they were planning, like, I'm going to use a stupid analogy.
Okay.
Like, there's a comet hurtling through space, and it's coming at Earth, and the only way you can do it is that you need to set up a space station outside of Earth, and then it's going to push, sort of like you're going to shoot rockets, and it's going to push it off course, something like that.
This is really off.
They're doing all the preparation on the side, and then when it comes, they're going to boom, and it's going to go in the right direction.
Right.
And I'm waiting for that moment. But we are now 2013 to 2001. We are 8 years after, and we still haven't got that.
Can I give you a different analogy
of
what they're actually doing? So they do the normal Xbox thing, and Don Matrick's helming the ship. They're on a ship, right? It's like the Titanic. And Don Matrick fricks up, and he goes, frick, I'm not in control anymore, and ties the steering wheel, or whatever you steer a ship with, puts rope so that it stays on course, and then jumps overboard. Or gets in a ship and, lifeboat or whatever. And the rest of the guys controlling Xbox, they run into the control room and they're like, oh my God, what should we do? Add more fuel to the engines. Make sure dinner's on time. All this stuff. And not one of them thinks, maybe let's get the controls and change course. And that's where Xbox is. Because it's just continuing on its course of bringing out the next one, doing the next thing, trying to fuck over its and I'm using the hard F. You'll notice that's twice this episode. Trying to mess with its consumer base until they push back, like with the Game Plus versus Xbox Gold. Like, and not bringing out any new games. And whatever new games they do try and bring out, it's Halo Infinite, which, let's be honest, was done incredibly poorly. There hasn't been a good one since Bungie was in charge. Like, it's not going to work. I can't wait for the day that Sony finally has the PS4 outpace both the Series S and X because there's nothing to play on them.
It's so close right now, isn't it? I mean, that's because of supply constraints at least, but it doesn't look good when you have the numbers pop up and everyone's looking at them that the PlayStation 4 is like very close
it's on
behind.
the tails. It's like it's nipping at the heels of the next gen Xbox, and I think that's not just the manufacturing constraints. What I think it is that people are having a hard time finding next gen, right? Fine, that is manufacturing. And then they go, well, either I've decided what I'm going to get and that's the Sony thing, so I'll move it over and get a PS4. Or they go, look, I want to play some new games. And where are the games that I haven't played? Oh, on the Sony ecosystem. And oh, wait, look at that. PS Plus collection, which a lot of that is, you can get that on the PS4, can't you?
Yeah.
God of War?
Not the entire collection.
But most of it. A bunch of it, right? Yeah. A lot of it. Persona 5, God of War, all these games that you won't have played if you're on Xbox. It makes sense. Plus, what's the price for PS4 today? Brand new.
Probably like 150.
Yeah. Or you get it used.
Yeah.
100 quid, something like that. Like, it's just not great.
Yeah.
It's not great. And it's not because the Xbox isn't good. It's because there's nothing good on the Xbox. Games Pass, we used to think was a good service when there was nothing else. And then Sony came out and showed you how a good service would look.
They actually announced a few. I do have a list of a few games that they've added to Game Pass. And
this could be good news.
This was interesting because it happened right around the time that PlayStation announced the February PlayStation Plus games. Control Ultimate Edition, a brand new game that's come out for the PS5. Destruction Allstars, a brand new PS5 game that's come out. Concrete Genie. People like that game.
The upgrade to the greatest game ever made, which also happens to be only playable on the Sony ecosphere.
Exactly.
God of War.
So this is the games coming to Xbox.
Game Pass.
Xbox Game Pass.
There you go.
That's it. There we go.
Third time's the charm.
Ghost of a Tale.
Whatever that means.
Project Winter.
Never heard of it.
The Falconeer.
Final
Fantasy 12.
Okay, yeah.
People apparently like that.
Everything after 10 has been... I think the best one after 10 was 15.
Wolfenstein Youngblood. I've heard of that.
I have heard of that, and not for good reasons.
It didn't do good, apparently.
No, people hated that.
This one you won. Stealth Inc. 2.
That I do. You're right. I did. I have heard those words, not in that order before, but I've heard those words.
Those words, but no.
Right.
Jurassic World Evolution. Those are the games coming to Xbox.
Oh, I did know about this. I tweeted about this. Did you see it?
No.
I quote tweeted that list and said, I wonder if Xbox is going to put something anybody wants to play on Game Pass.
And that's basically how everyone feels.
Right.
This is the thing that we've been trying to say as well.
It's so cheap, but there's nothing you would go out of your way to play.
I don't want to make every episode where we try and dog on Xbox
I'm bored of it.
And where we don't dog on Game Pass as well, because it has so much value in it. It's not a sustainable service, which means it won't be around forever, especially in its current form. But either they go full force and they offer some amazing titles and take the huge loss that they're doing, because right now they're offering subpar games and taking a huge loss. It doesn't make any sense. Or you don't do that and you put your resources into something better, something more.
They already did that, and they spent
be.
$500 million on a Halo that isn't out.
Exactly.
And doesn't work and isn't anything anybody wants.
At the end of the day, this is the message that we want. This is what we both want.
Yeah.
We want Xbox to be better. We want Game Pass to be better.
Yeah.
We want everything Xbox does to be so good that it turns Sony and goes, shit, we need to buckle up. We need to be ready for whatever happens next, and we need to make something so PlayStation gamers go, oh, I need to stay here.
Yeah.
Or they might jump ship.
That's exactly
And I want them to be able to say, hey, Eddie, why don't you come over here to the Xbox side? Because we have this, And
I want to be tempted.
And I want to be tempted.
Yeah.
That's what we want.
Absolutely.
And that's hopefully the message that you guys get from us. I know we dog a lot, but I hope that's the message
If you
get.
go back a year or maybe a bit further, we were constantly saying Game Pass is a great service.
Yeah.
It's a really good service, and that was because it was the Netflix in 2011 or whatever. It was the only one doing it, and suddenly you didn't have to have all these other things because Netflix had all the stuff you wanted to watch.
Yeah.
And Game Pass looked like a really good service, and then Sony comes out and consistently doesn't say that it's pro-consumer. It just does pro-consumer stuff, not because they care about you. It's still run by suits. Don't get it twisted.
Exactly.
But it's suits that know the business better, right? and they delivered way better, way harder, way more consistently at a better price point, and games you actually wanted to play, and you would pay for, right? Like Persona 5 is the highest rated PlayStation game of all time. God of War is the greatest game ever made. Yes. And also they brought out the PS5 update for free.
Yeah.
Destruction Allstars is brand new. I mean, I don't know anything about it. You got Detroit Become Human. You got all sorts of incredible games on there. Each one, arguably, at least 3/4 of it are games you would go out and pay full retail price for. Yeah. If you had to today, you would. Tell me you wouldn't buy God of War forget the new update. Tell me you wouldn't go and if you found out you'd lost it and the only way to get it was to buy it again.
That's how much I love it that I would go and buy it.
It's that good.
In fact, I tell you, so I bought God of War back in the day. I played it. I've got it on my on the PlayStation Plus collection. I also have a brand new copy right here that I bought just because it had a cool sleeve on it, because I love this game so much.
Right. So you bought the game. You bought the game 2 or 3 times.
2 times I bought the game,
and then you also
with my
got
PlayStation
it for free.
Plus collection, bought free, whatever, included in my price.
So, like, go back a year and a half when we were saying how good of a service Game Pass was, and then it was done by somebody that did it better, and it turns out Game Pass actually isn't that good. The one thing we never really looked at was, well, we never considered someone would give you God of War for free.
That's true.
Or Persona 5.
Something has that value. How could you possibly give away for free?
Right.
Do you know what we need? We've said our theory is that one day they will start switching out games in this PlayStation Plus collection. And right now it's something like, is it 20 games or 30 games, something like that in that thing? And I'm fine with it being 20 games.
I agree.
And if they do switch out the games, which they haven't done yet, then it will be, this is better than Game Pass. Because the quality of games, I don't need 150 games that I'm not going to play. I need 20 games that I definitely will play. Yeah. And if they change every 3 months, 4 months, or even if it's every month, it doesn't have to be every month, but if it's every 3 months, perfect. Yeah. That's the great service. Yeah. And instead of it being, every game that we make is going to be day and day on the thing, but we make a huge loss, which is a terrible thing. Why did we say it? We don't need that. We really don't need that. Because at the end of the day, you're just eating a massive cost. I hope this service turns out to be something amazing anyway. I hope PlayStation Plus Collection.
PlayStation Plus Collection looks like it's an absolute banger.
Yeah.
And I think what they did is they're in a position to do it better because they actually have titles people want to play. Yeah. Right? Like, there isn't a lot of Xbox exclusive stuff that's worth playing. Master Chief Collection, maybe not Metal Gear.
Gears of War.
Actually, I think they do have Metal Gear Solid is an Xbox exclusive, isn't it?
I think it's a PlayStation exclusive.
I can't remember. But it's not my game. Gears of War, and there's a Forza.
Yeah.
Right? But other than that, they're not really spoilt for choice of stuff they could put on there. So, I mean, that's one thing, right? Like, not to dig too much at them, but they don't have the choice that Sony does. But the thing that they're going to need is games that people want to play. And I think this is the reason that Sony can do it, and it makes sense to include it for free, because it is free. So, you know, where you said stuff gets released on Game Pass, but it's at a huge loss. The reason it isn't at a huge loss for Sony is because these games already came out.
They made the huge revenue in the beginning.
Right. And now
it's just sitting there doing nothing.
Exactly. Now they're sort of past that earning us money phase. And it's better to have people on your system, because if someone plays God of War for 10 hours and then hops over to Fortnite and buys a skin, you made the money on the skin. And in the long term, over the course of a 7 or 8 year generation lifespan, those people buying those skins, and they got there because they were on your system because of all these great games that you'd already made the money on up front, and you're giving away for free, that makes sense. Problem is with Game Pass, there aren't those incredible titles, and they've locked themselves into this model where day one you can get it for this. And you have to make your money on the game first. You have to make back the money for developing it, otherwise you develop trash.
Yeah.
And some suits then say, well, if we're making trash, we might as well buy a thing that makes trash, and then you buy Bethesda. And somehow, apparently, they've been made whole. Having bought Bethesda, they've made their money back. But
what it was is that Microsoft has made the money back.
That makes sense to me. There's no way Xbox
is still digging holes. That's what they're doing. And I love that. I saw that video. Was it from Yong Ye or something?
Yeah, Yong Ye.
Microsoft have already made back the money they spent on Bethesda 2 times fold. And I was like, Microsoft, the people who make all these other products and services, have made them right. Got you.
Who make the gear that 90% of the planet uses? Yeah, you're right.
I was say, Xbox is still all they're doing is digging a hole for Microsoft in their pocket. That's all they're doing for them. Anyway, let's kick it over to our boys in the Discord server and answer some questions right there. You guys can write in just like these guys have here by clicking the link in the description and also join the cool Discord server we have. Juicy Spice Sauce, I should say, says, what other games do you think could do with a remaster? Not remake, a remaster. Also, are you excited that we can finally experience Miranda and Jack in 4K? Miranda and Jack, are they a Mass Effect?
Yeah.
They're Mass Effect the people.
Yeah. Miranda.
Talk about your Mass Effect.
Miranda's known for having a fat ass. A fat ass.
I don't know what.
She's
a personality.
Great personality.
Great, right.
In fact, she's got a great set of traits. She's an okay romance as well. Okay, it's not a bad romance pick, but in my opinion, there are better. But
right. And Jack.
So
our mod Jack.
Yeah. In the world of Mass Effect, you basically have, they're called biotics.
Okay.
Are they called biotics? I think it is. It's been a while.
Was this that virus you was talking about?
No, that's with the Krogan.
Okay.
But basically, they're psychics.
Okay.
And Jack is like one of the most powerful, an insanely powerful psychic, basically. Who, I'm not going to tell you how you meet her, but she is very antisocial. I think I'm not going to tell you, but she's very antisocial for a lot of good reasons.
Steve Rogers at the end of Endgame.
Yeah, no, I don't think I will. No, the problem is if I tell you anything, you might clock it, and I don't want you to clock it.
Okay, all right.
But she's very antisocial, and she's totally down to, like, you know when we were talking about Star Wars, and Yoda comes in to face off with Palpatine, and he just flicks his hand, and those two red guard go flying. Yeah. And I was saying in my head canon, he just minces their brains. Just it's not we've been knocked out. It's like inside of that helmet is redder than the outside ever will be, right? And it's that kind of thing that I feel like Jack is totally down to just crush people, just mince them. Like that one chick in The Boys, who's in this insane asylum. That's kind of Jack. She's an interesting romance. A very weird one. And a very interesting character, surprisingly. Miranda's kind of like a CIA agent, where she acts like she's your friend, and then you start to realize that she's a kind of CIA agent, where she's very infosec. Maybe is she playing you? Is she working for the other team? But then the other team make you pick her up. So you think she's their agent, but then is she working for you? Yeah, Cerberus.
This is all very confusing.
You will find out. What I cannot wait is for you to finish. I expect you're going to play all 3 games. I don't think you'll take a break. I think you'll just jam and be immensely happy with it.
Hooked on it.
And then I would love to get into this. Just do a Mass Effect cast.
A huge Mass Effect cast. There we go. That could happen. That could happen.
I don't want to tell you too much. There's a lot of good characters to romance in it. That's all I'm saying.
Let's answer Juice's question. What other games would you like to do? Would you think could do it with a remaster?
Yeah.
What other games do you think could do with a remaster?
You go first.
What game do I wish we had a remaster? I mean, I'm gonna sound like a broken record. I want to go back to the days of Resistance. I want to go back to those days because they were cool and they had a unique aesthetic. The whole aliens type thing and whatnot. The world is being taken over by these disgusting looking alien things, and you're just a man on a mission. I'm here to protect the human race. I mean, destroy all these things. I think that could be quite cool. It was very dark and brown because that's what you think when you think of
I know what you mean. Yeah.
But a remaster, maybe they change the color palette up a little bit or something like that. I think I could do quite good.
A remaster, I would like
Pokemon Yellow.
I feel like Sword and Shield record scratch. Nah, I want to leave the Pokemons where they are. I think they're actually pretty well placed.
Yeah,
and you can go back to Pokemon, but you can't go back to GoldenEye like we did in N64. So I would like to see a GoldenEye remaster.
Even the one that I think they did one for the PS2 back in the day, but even PS5, that wasn't good enough.
No, yeah, PS5 GoldenEye would be good. Star Fox would be cool. Oh no, I had one and it's just completely left me. That's really annoying. the one I was saving up to. I was going to like GoldenEye this, and then boom, and I've lost it.
Do you know what I would like a remaster of?
Go on.
Cyberpunk 2077.
That would be good. That would be good.
I would like it in PS5 graphics.
Yeah. Oh, do you know what would be good? Vice City, GTA Vice City.
Yeah.
In like exactly the same, just today's graphics.
Tommy Vassetti.
It's Tommy.
All right.
With that same soundtrack, which would probably cost a fortune right now in the royalties.
Yeah,
but
you'd never be able to.
No.
When they said that, there was a couple of games they were bringing back to PlayStation 4. They were like, "Oh yeah, this is now available in its original graphics on PlayStation 4." I was like, "Original graphics, fuck it, I'll play it anyway." And I downloaded Vice City again, and I was like, "Can they get all the soundtracks back?" Turns out, I don't think they can.
No, I don't think they can. Did you see remaster or remake?
Remaster. Remastered, not remake specifically.
Yeah, because remakes, the problem, in my opinion, the problem with Final Fantasy VII, which is why I didn't play it, because it's not Final Fantasy VII, which isn't to say it's not good.
That's right, Jess. It sucks because they remade it.
That's exactly my position. Final Fantasy IX.
You want that to be a remaster.
I hate, you say you're a broken record, but I love that game and I want the option. So like the Master Chief Collection has an option where we can switch it back to the original graphics.
Yeah.
And it's potato graphics. I want them to come up with incredible voice acting cast.
Yeah.
And it would need work because it's kind of like shorter. The game would shorten down quite a lot if you had voice acting, right?
Because you have to read it.
Right, yeah, because they leave us a gap for you to read and stuff. But I also want it to have...
Turns out it's a 20-minute game.
Yeah. But I would also love to have it in brand new today's graphics, but with speech bubbles. Ideally, the old speech bubbles to let you have that little nostalgia
Just
kick.
have a little bit, yeah.
So it's the exact same game, but it's in today's graphics, and you can either choose the incredibly talented voice actors or the original looking speech bubbles. I think that would be a great one.
Let's read another question from another one of our bros. Quick question. He goes, any thoughts? Sorry, this is the nun fucker Ben. He goes, quick question. Any thoughts on Skate 4 and the Skate franchise in general? But anyway, have a fun spicing to Jude. Okay,
what?
Spicing to Judy, Alvarez, and Lady D. And I hope you have a speedy recovery, Ed. Oh, thank you so much. Judy is helping me through this. Don't worry about it.
Have you finished Cyberpunk yet?
No, I still haven't.
Me neither. How far have you got?
I've gone quite far. I think I'm basically the last mission, and I've stopped.
Did you do the thing with Takamura trying to speak to Lady Hanako, whatever her name was? Okay, yeah, that's about where I am.
Yeah, I'm just after. It's only a little bit after that. I think it's the end. So Skate 4. I played the Skate games back in the day, like on the original.
Yeah.
Like, when the Skate 1 and 2, Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2 came out, I was like, oh, let's play some of this and what. That was all cool, and I did want to buy the remaster, but something about it I was like, is it gonna be like the original and whatnot? Is it gonna give me that same feeling? And I thought no, so I didn't buy it. So I've still got the memory, and the old Skate games were so cool back in the day. I think Skate 4 will be good.
I hope it's
but
good.
I don't think it will live up to people's expectations, though.
I agree. I think people are overhyping it a lot, which is a danger at the minute because we did that with Cyberpunk. I think that's a real danger for Horizon and God of War coming out. It's a huge danger for Fable. The only thing Xbox has going for it is that potentially Fable will come out and be a banger. And I think the people that are staying on Xbox because Fable will come out someday are going to have that be a Halo Infinite moment. Not to say that it won't be good, but that it will be like a Cyberpunk to them, where they've hyped it up to be this thing, and they're like, if it's even half as good as we think, and it will come out and have all these bugs and these problems, and it won't be what they put in their head. But
don't worry, they still have Elden Ring and Avowed.
True, and we know a lot about these games.
We know a lot about those.
My thing with Skate 4, which is I think you're right, I think it'll be good, but it will be overhyped.
Yeah.
I don't see us making time to play it.
Yeah, especially because if there's we can always make time for brand new things, right?
Yeah.
Brand new things seem to take precedent, especially because we have a show where we talk about games and stuff like that. So it's cool to have that new game conversation. It's good to have the conversation about older games that get remade, but it's a shorter conversation, and and there isn't as much interest around, say, like when Cyberpunk came out, or say even when AC Valhalla came out. People were like, well, there's a conversation to be had here.
I also don't see us making the time for that kind of game. I don't think if there was a new Gran Turismo or Forza or Need for Speed that we'd make time for that game either, right? We wouldn't beat the game. It's just not.
Yeah.
It's not the kind of game we're gonna carve the time out of it, because at this point we do have to carve time out of our week to get gaming in.
Yeah.
And it can be difficult.
Allow being adults. Fuck this shit.
Yeah. Well, also if I win the Euro Millions and like, let's say I win $100 million, first things first, you're dead to me. But me and the boys, we're going to be gaming.
Everyone gets a PS5. Oh, I can't buy one.
Right, there's no stock. But once there's stock,
as soon as there's stock, you'll get a PS5, guys.
but like, look, if I won the Euro Millions, I would do that. I would buy us like a creator studio and be like, bro, what's work? Don't worry about it. I'll pay off your mortgage and we'll do content. And that's the thing I think a lot of people don't realize. There's a million YouTubers out there with huge channels where if they won the lottery or got ninjured, where like they signed up for a 5-year deal for $60 million and then got out of it within a year and took the pay, that they'd be like, well, I'm done. I don't need to do anything. Whereas you and me, if I won $100 million,
that gets us to buy into our dream to do this.
If I won $100 million, this podcast still continues because this is what I like to do. Right. And the only difference would be I don't have to go to a job, or maybe we do it from like some freaking Bora Bora, right? But like other than that, like the podcast is still the same, right? We'd still be doing this because it's my hobby. I look forward to this as much as I look forward to my gaming, right? Because I'm hanging out with the boys. I have to part with you, but like there's bugs in games, you know how it is. You're all the bugs in Jedi Fallen Order. You're the human incarnation,
the human version of it. That's what
right.
it is.
But so that's the thing. And I think a lot of people don't get that, how much fun this is to do, and talk about gaming and stuff. But yes, Skate 4 will be good, but not as good as you think.
Could you believe that Sheps could have turned that to something like that? Could you believe it? D wrote in. And he goes, He wrote in. His name on the Discord now is community drug dealer.
It was just dealer, and I was in the mod chat was like, I'm gonna unmod you because you didn't. This is of all the names you've worked your name into, you didn't pick this very clear example.
Drug dealer.
Dealer.
He dropped a link, and it says Elon Musk says his company Neuralink has wired up monkeys' brains to play video games with his mind.
With its mind, the monkey's mind is playing the video
it says
games,
his mind, so it's talking about the monkey. That's madness, and we're one step closer to Gamer.
VR. Yeah,
Gamer the movie.
Oh, I see what
with
you mean.
Gerard Butler. We're gonna be like this. We're gonna be controlling convicts any day now. We're gonna be like, yeah.
How unfair would it be? Think about that in real life, right? You have a bunch of regulars and this one like guy from Energy, like pub stomping with his one like triple felony murder homicides, He's got basically like what I'm thinking of. He's got like The Rock basically as his character, and then you've got some little guy like Peter Dinklage. You've got Peter Dinklage, and you're running around, and he's got, as well as the skill, he's got the amazing character. Now, what would be funny is to make that movie, but the epic gamer gets Peter Dinklage, and Peter Dinklage just wrecks The Rock, just wrecks Vin Diesel, just wrecks Chris, like
Chris Hemsworth,
Chris Pratt, Chris Hemsworth, all of them, right? All the Chris's. That would be funny.
That would be hilarious. This is kind of scary, but
so you thought gamer. I thought VR.
Yeah,
I thought like almost holodeck type stuff where you're in the game, you're controlling it. What we really need is for porn to pick that up.
That's when you know something is going to flourish.
People, no joke. Like that's the reason VHS won over Betamax. It's the reason CDs won over VHS. It's the reason DVDs won over CDs. It's the reason Blu-ray.
You don't need another one.
It's the reason. Wait, what's after Blu-ray? What's the Ultra HD one?
4K Blu-ray.
Is it called? I swear it's like Ultraviolet something, isn't it?
It's Ultraviolet's the service, but it's dead now.
Anyway, like legit, porn is.
When porn enters the scene, it funds it and it makes it better. It puts more research into it.
Porn's like $1 billion a day business. Whatever tech they pick tends to be the one that gets adopted, just because they put in enough order volume that the surplus is there.
Volume.
Hey.
Volume of jizz.
Yeah, they buy a load of stuff.
Great stuff, right?
Sex.
And one more thing from my boy Tech Issues Incarnate. He says I should put my glasses on to read this to make it a bit more smooth.
That would be good.
He goes, well, I've played The Pedestrian. Have you heard about The Pedestrian?
I've heard the name, but I don't remember the game.
It's quite a cool thing. It's basically like a puzzle platformer, but it's the backdrop is like a city, and it's like a little stick man that's jumping from like a lamppost to a sign to like he's trying to make his way through a thing. I'll read the rest of his thing while you find a little trailer for it on the PS5, and I really enjoyed it. It's a very fun puzzle platformer. There you go, where you play as a person jumping between signs and puzzles, were tricky, but not too tricky. Completing a tricky level was rewarding without feeling like a headache or near impossible. The game did use haptic feedback, like the way Astro did, with my feet tapping sounds. 'Twas good. Really recommend people play it. It was short but sweet. Quite a nice one.
Yeah, I don't think this is for me. Looking at it, I'll send you the video. This is
just to make sure we got the right one here.
This is not a trailer. This is some dude playing it. I just skipped to 8 minutes.
Sure.
But god damn, that N7 helmet looks so good.
Yeah.
Interestingly, it looks like it's really high production. Like the backgrounds are sick. Do you know what it reminds me of? Like a Toy Story vibe.
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting a hard toy. Oh man, I'm getting nostalgia.
I have to sit through a 20-second ad here.
When are we going to do the Kingdom Hearts stream?
So that's can we just not remind people so maybe they forget?
There's no way they're forgetting that. By the way, whoever gave you that that drink chart, I'm assuming you didn't make it yourself. Did
it
you
was
make it
D.
yourself? Gave it to you.
D gave it to me, knowing that I knew absolutely nothing about Kingdom Hearts. And I asked people on Twitter, I was like, so how dead am I if I do this? And they were like, you're fucked.
Yeah.
You're gone. Rest in peace. It was nice knowing you.
I think someone said, and this was what made me worry, and then I clicked it and realized what you had done, posting that publicly, because you could have sent it to me. You know, I've played 1 and 2. I've played and really enjoyed them. Is someone goes, if we're talking shots, you'd be pretty drunk.
They're like,
no, if you're talking sips, you'll be pretty drunk. If we're talking shots, you're dead.
Yeah.
And then I was like, what are they talking about? Oh no. And then I clicked it and I saw your shot chart. I couldn't believe it. I could not believe it. Half of it is like, Sora mentions Kyrie at all.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Or like, you heal at the same time as Donald. Like, you're fricked, mate.
Yeah.
It's
legit how it is. It's legit how it is. Anyway, Pedestrian does look cool to me. It's an
interesting style.
It's got some cool puzzle work. They have to like move around bits and whatnot and try and get your characters to go through doors and finish the levels. I think it's quite cool. People should check that out. Diogo at least is recommending it right there. It's really cool. And that is the last question that we have. I don't know from the outside this is how this is going to look. Obviously, I've been still recovering from this headache and illness and whatnot that I've got right here. I feel like I've been kind of low energy, but I don't know.
No, I think you've been all right.
So, good. Well, that's good. I hope it's come across that way. Hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Was there anything else you wanted to ask?
Just having looked at that Pedestrian, made me think like, this isn't my kind of game. And then I started thinking about what other things that aren't my kind of game, and realized that 12 minutes is the only title other than Fable I'm interested on the Xbox. And I just Googled the release date, and apparently initial release was 2020, but we're past 2020.
Google does sometimes fuck that up.
12 minutes game. I'm going to go to the website.
Game.
Because that, I think, is genuinely worth looking into. I'm really kind of into that. And it's not a normal game that either of us would play. We're much more like the God of War or Call of Duty kind of games. By the way, talking of Call of Duty, as we're wrapping up a gaming podcast, is Warzone still bricking consoles? Because I haven't turned it on since you said that.
I don't know about that. I guess they would have figured it out by now, right?
We hope.
Yeah. So their website doesn't say anything. It says 2021 when you actually click on the Wikipedia page.
Okay.
It still says James McAvoy, Daisy Ridley, Willem Dafoe. Those guys are very, very busy. Obviously, they're doing lots of great movies.
Yeah, the website hasn't been updated. I'm on 12minutesgame.com and it says when is it out. We're aiming for 2020 .. maybe early 2021. So I guess it's not out.
Yeah, God, man, this looked really cool.
This does look
I hope
interesting.
it does come out, and it is actually really amazing.
I hope so, but it's also the kind of game, it's just not poised to be a big hitter, even if it's brilliant, and it could be incredible, but it's just not going to compete with like Halo or Fable.
Yeah, I just want it to be bigger than they had expected, because it's a small team and it's clearly a lot of passions going behind it. I want them to be like, wow, we were expecting X, but we got X times 10.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. That's really cool right there. Anyway, let's move on to our next project. Let's do that. Anyway, is there anything else you wanted to talk about, bro?
No, man. Just gaming in general being good and fun, and oh my god, the Mass Effect. So I just went back to Twitter just naturally.
What is it?
It's just an update of Commander Shepard, and it's like the original version and the Legendary Edition.
Oh.
And it's upgraded significantly.
Does it look beautiful?
Yeah, it looks really good.
Oh. Well, guys, that is the end of episode 30 of the True Gamer podcast. I hope you guys enjoyed it. We will be back again the same time next week on Saturday doing the same thing again. We're approaching, I think in April is our 1 year anniversary for the True Gamer podcast.
Oh, sick.
It won't be episode 52, because we didn't start off doing weekly.
Right.
So it'll be a bit off. But when it comes,
the 1 year anniversary,
very, very special right there. Tune into Streamcast, will be happening on the Four Pillars Network channel, link in the description. That's happening on Tuesday.
Every Tuesday we're doing the next. So we did the first 4 episodes of WandaVision, because that's when the channel went live, and from then on, it's each week's episode we'll be talking about it, breaking it down. I'll be telling you how wrong your theories are.
Exactly. That's a wrong theory right there.
Yeah, you're wrong.
I have no evidence, but you're wrong.
Yeah, you're definitely wrong.
Anyway, we'll catch you all in the next one, guys. And I'll catch you, bro.
We've got to work out an outro.
Gamers out.
God, I hate you so much. I think we should just stick to just the super awkward. Just gamers out.
Out.
Later, fellow gamers.